Here's to Itabena, Mississippi, to face a veteran head coach in Rick Comegys, who's in his first year at Mississippi Valley State, along with standout Julian Stafford, who's chasing a Devils legend. Welcome to ESPNU College Football Primetime, presented by McDonald's. We're in Itabena, Mississippi at Rice-Totten Stadium for this Southwestern Athletic Conference matchup as the Tigers of Grambling State University take on the Delta Devils of Mississippi Valley. Let's check out the standings in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. You see in the West, Grambling leads the West. They must win 2 of their last 3 games, including the Bayou Classic game against Southern University right after Thanksgiving. While in the East, it's Alcorn and Alabama A&M. They're playing Saturday, and Alcorn is in the championship if they come out victorious. Hello, everyone. Charlie Neal, along with former Florida State offensive lineman Forrest Conley. Welcome to Itabena, Mississippi. And Forrest, when you look at these 2 teams, I'll tell you, this could be a spoiler game as far as Mississippi Valley is concerned, because Grambling has their destiny in their own hands.
Well, Grambling has to come out and do what they do well, run the ball, establish the run early, get the passing game going, and not allow themselves to get complacent against the Mississippi Valley State team that wants to get another big win for their program.
Well, 4 of the 10 teams in the Southwestern Athletic Conference has new coaches this year, including Broderick Fobbs over there at Grambling State University, who was picked to finish last in the Western Division. They've turned that thing around. They're at the top of the Western Division. Are you surprised?
Well, I'm not surprised. You can't win ball games on paper. And what he's done is he's taken the talent that they've had there. He's got those guys to believe in themselves, to play as a unit, and they've played some great football early in the season.
One of those other coaches that changed jobs this year was Rick Comegys over here at Mississippi Valley. He comes up I-55 after 7 years at Jackson State University. The question tonight is, who's he going to play at quarterback?
Well, he's got 2 guys that can play very well for him, but what he likes to do is see which guy plays well, because sometimes one guy plays well, the other doesn't. So he'll play both of those guys early. Whichever guy comes out and is starting off very well, that'll be the guy that we'll see most of this evening.
As far as Grambling State is concerned, I don't think there's any question who they're going to start at quarterback, Jonathan Williams.
Well, Jonathan Williams is a true dual-threat quarterback. And when I say dual-threat, there's some dual-threat quarterbacks that can run for first downs. There's some dual-threat quarterbacks that can run for touchdowns. He runs for touchdowns. He leads the team in rushing and passing.
Well, let's look at the series history between these 2 squads. 56 times that they've met. Grambling has a distinctive edge, leading 48-5-2. Probably the only times those 5 games was when the Jerry Rice era and Totten era, when Mississippi Valley was beating just about everybody. Home team has won the last 2 meetings between these 2 squads. The weather tonight should not be a factor. It rained a little bit last night. Had a full moon earlier tonight, and I think the temperature was 56 degrees. Little no wind, clear skies. Weather should not play a factor in this one for us.
It's great football weather. This is what you love. It's not hot. It's not cold. It's right in between. And this is a big-time opportunity for both ball clubs playing on national TV.
It certainly is, and more importantly, they've had the coin toss already. Grambling won the toss. They have elected to defer, and they will get the ball to start the second half, so they will kick off. Grambling is in their white visiting jerseys with black pants, gold stripe up the side. Meanwhile, Mississippi Valley in the home green jerseys and white numerals. And putting the ball on the tee is Mark Orozco. He's a true freshman out of Denton, Texas. He's done a very good job in the kicking department for Broderick Fobbs so far this year. He's second in the conference in PATs. He's only missed 1, 33 of 34.
And that's a great weapon to have when you're talking about scoring points. You want to score points every opportunity that you get. And when you've got a kicker that can score points like that for you consistently, that makes you that much more of a dangerous ball club.
Charlie Crenshaw, Julian Stafford deep to receive the kick. It'll come to Stafford at the 4-yard line. Across the 10 and bounces to the outside, comes to the near side and gets it up to the 30-yard line. So pretty good field position for Mississippi Valley to start the ball game, their own 30-yard line. And let's see who they're going to bring out to start this for them at quarterback. It'll be number 1 in Quantavius Peterson, the junior out of Shelby, Mississippi. 4 touchdowns passing this year, completing about 38% of his passes, and he's also run for a couple of touchdowns. So he's working out of the shotgun on 1st down and 10. Crenshaw coming to the near side. Crenshaw with plenty of room across midfield. He's going to go unless he's caught inside the 10. Cuts it back. 10-5 at the 2. Flag goes down. What a run. First play of the game. Crenshaw goes around left side. A lot of yards.
Well, you see Mississippi Valley do what they need to do. They use the aggression of Grambling State's defense against them. They got the ball out, and what I love more than anything is the center. Ben Leiter got down the field and got a key block down at the end of that run.
Number 63, offense. 10-yard penalty. It will be first down.
So the block on the center, Ben Leiter, who you were just talking about, he gets called, but the penalty occurred down inside the 5-yard line, so it's a 10-yard penalty from the point of the penalty.
Well, you see the defensive end crashed down, and that was a great decision by the quarterback, Peterson, to pitch the ball out. And I like the line. Although he got the penalty, the fact that Leiter got down the field and got the down the field block is great moving forward for this offense.
68 yards on that run. Now quarterback throwing out in the flat. It goes incomplete. Let's take a look at the impact players for these two teams. Offensively for Mississippi Valley, defensively for Grambling.
Well, Julian Stafford, he's what I call a go and get it and take it to the house receiver. He's extremely quick and is not afraid to go across the middle. And defensively for Grambling State, Aaron Breed, he's a problem. He leads the team in every defensive category, and he does a great job attacking the A-gaps on various blitz packages that they apply.
Deshaun Davis is the running back beside his quarterback on second down. Now a whistle and a flag is thrown by the line judge, or the head linesman. He throws the flag.
Number 15, defense. Calls for reaction by the offensive player. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Steve Orsockley was the man who was drawn offside, the inside linebacker defensively for the Grambling Tigers. So the ball is moved down to the 10-yard line. It's second down and 5. Remember, Crenshaw set this up with that 68-yard run. Ball moved back because of the block in the back penalty. Quarterback looks over to the sideline to get the play. Deshaun Davis, redshirt senior, beside his quarterback. Here's a snap. Peterson looking to run, turns off to the left side. 5, touchdown, Mississippi Valley.
Touchdown, Mississippi Valley.
And you see the fleet of foot Peterson. He's able to avoid the pass rush. He steps back, steps forward, makes a move in the hole. And once he gets to the outside, it's easy sailing to the end zone. That's the one thing that he does better than Patrick Ivey. He has great footwork, great vision, and he's very elusive.
Didn't take him long to go down the field. 70-yard drive. And now for the point after for Mississippi Valley is Galen. The kick is up, and it is good. So 7-0. I mean, we got on the board quick. 13:48 remaining here in the first quarter. Mississippi Valley gets the opening kickoff. A pretty good return. Starts their own 30. And then, of course, Mr. Crenshaw with a 68-yard run.
Well, Mississippi Valley did a good job early in the ball game right here, taking advantage of the aggressive defense by Grambling State. And that is what you have to do when you have an aggressive defense. Short screens, bubble passes. And you see right here, Peterson with the fleet of foot move. He's able to get to the end zone. Great decision not to try and fit the ball in, but take what the defense gave him, which was an easy path to a touchdown.
Well, Mississippi Valley making a statement on their opening drive, and that's the way you want to do it, isn't it? How about the keys to the game, Forrest?
Well, when you look at the keys to the game for Mississippi Valley, they have to establish the run. They have to also, and they want to control the clock. They want to eliminate penalties. They average about 65 penalty yards per ball game. and they want to execute in the red zone. They've been able to get to the red zone 10 touchdowns in 17 trips, but you want to get touchdowns every time you're in the red zone when you're facing a tough ball club like Grambling State. Now, for Grambling State, they have to start fast, which is what we've seen Mississippi Valley do so far. They can't turn the football over, and you've got to control Stafford.
So from their own 36-yard line is where Grambling goes to work. Williams back to pass on first down. It is caught on the near side, bobbled a little bit, but still brought in by Juwan Martin, the running back out of Chicago, Illinois. And there's Jonathan Williams, what he's done this past season and what he's done last week. He had a pretty good week against Texas Southern a week ago. Now he takes off and runs and gets the ball up across the 45 to about the 40, just about outside the 45-yard line, where it'll be third down and about 2. And they're going quickly, not a lot of time as you look at the impact players for Grambling and Mississippi Valley.
Well, Jonathan Williams, the dual threat, he runs the ball well, he throws the ball very well. And for Mississippi Valley, the rover, Davin Jones, he'll have to play a big part with his blitz package and bumping that slot receiver to not allow him to get a free release.
So now a false start is going to be whistled against Grambling State University.
Number 65, offense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Left guard Taylor Evans. As a former offensive lineman, you hate them, those pre-snap penalties, don't you?
Well, you know when the snap is being called, but I think there's anxiousness right now. The first play, or the first couple of plays, Mississippi Valley's defensive line has been able to push that offensive line back into Williams' face, so he may have been trying to be a little bit more aggressive to make sure he gets a good hop off the ball.
Third down conversions, Grambling this year, 39%. Here's Williams throwing it, has a man wide open who had dropped the ball. It was right in the breadbasket of Verlin Hunter, and he just couldn't hold on.
Well, Hunter tried to make a move before he got possession of the football. You got to get the first down first. Then you try and make a play with the football. Unfortunate, because that was a first down pass.
So that'll bring on the punting team for Grambling State. That'll bring on Jonathan Wallace, sophomore out of Rayville, Louisiana, who's averaging 38 yards per punt so far this year. And Mr. Crenshaw is back to receive this one. He lets it fall over his head almost. He almost muffed that one. And he was able to fall on top of it. Timeout on the field, 7-0. Mississippi Valley, 12:36 left here, first quarter.
A better back and a better body. Since 1981, that has been.
College football prime time is presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And in part by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy. Back here at Itta Bena, Mississippi, Grambling State University trailing Mississippi Valley 7-0. This is Mississippi Valley's second offensive possession, starting at their own 16-yard line. First down and 10. Ivy's the quarterback. Nobody in the backfield with him. Empty backfield. 4 wide receivers to the top of your screen. And now he takes off and runs straight up the middle, has the first down, and across the 40 to the 46-yard line, 47.
And that's a great play call. They've went 5 wides. They've been a bunch formation to the field side. They spread them out, and when they spread them out, the middle of the field was wide open for Peterson to get down the field and do whatever he wants to do. Grambling State has to be careful not to blitz too much and give them too many opportunities.
31 yards on the run that time, and here's a play action. It was a fake to the outside, but nothing fooled Donovan McRae, who came up to make the stop right there. The sophomore out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, McKinley High, faked the pass in the flat and then was going to bring it back in, but McRae was right there.
And I thought he could have gotten that pass to Julian Stafford and allowed him to make plays. And you want to get Stafford the ball in the open field. Allow your athletes to be athletes.
5-yard loss on the play. It'll be second down and 15 now for Mississippi Valley. Ball spotted at the 43-yard line. Again, the empty backfield. 3 wide receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom. Here comes the blitz. Pass is complete on the far side. A gain of about 4. And it was Stafford on the reception. As you look at Rick Comegys in his 23rd year as a head coach, has just 6 losing seasons in those 23 years. First year at Mississippi Valley, 7 years at Jackson State. Only one losing season out of those 7 at JSU. A lot of people question as to why they made the change in coaching in terms of what Jackson State did with him after last season. But Mississippi Valley didn't waste any time in scooping him up. Third down conversion you saw there. Here's a pass into the flat, but it's dropped incomplete by Trey Ford. Just couldn't hold on, so to bring up a 4th down punting situation after a couple of good runs there. Good field position for Mississippi Valley.
I think Trey Ford heard footsteps on that play, and he was looking to see where the contact was going to come from. But like you said, they had some good plays early in that drive. The sack allowed Grambling to pin their ears back a little bit and come after the quarterback and not give them the time that they needed to try and get a first down.
Galen will do the punting. He does all the kicking for Valley. Fair catch being called for. The ball rolls, takes a Mississippi Valley bounce. Jonathan Wallace didn't have a chance to return it. A 42-yard punt, no return. 7-0 our score. 10:31 remaining. First quarter here in Itta Bena.
Well, if Monday's
games live also on Watch ESPN. Charlie Neal, Forrest Conley here in Itta Bena, Mississippi. The Delta Devils with a 7-0 lead, Grambling with their second possession of the day, and a pass out in the flat, very close to being intercepted over here on the near side by Avery Boykin.
Well, he threw in the double coverage, and he has to be careful because they're making sure they're not allowing him to have the passing lanes that he wants. You see right here, he's looking in the middle. He goes through his progressions, but he's throwing in double coverage. You've got 2 defenders out there on the outside.
Empty backfield again for Jonathan Williams, who throws in the middle of the field. Now he has a man all the way across the 30, 40, and bounced out of bounds in front of the Mississippi Valley bench. That's Chad Williams on the reception. Chad Williams, a sophomore out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, with the Madison Prep, and for him, his 30th catch of the season.
A great job by Williams stepping up in the pocket, and you see the quick release.
1st and 10, Grambling State.
His time as they line up Martin to the right of his quarterback. And now the handoff to Martin, and Martin is hit by a bunch of green jerseys as he hit the hole and lost maybe a half a yard.
Antonio Benson first.
And early in the ball game, that Mississippi Valley defense has been very stout in the middle, in the meat of that defensive line. They've been able to push the Grambling State offensive linemen back. And when you look at the guard play, they have to be stout at the point of attack. They have to control the depth of the pocket to allow the quarterback Williams to step up.
So call it 2nd down and 11. They have 4 wide receivers to the top of the screen. That is Grambling. Here's Williams back to pass. And it's caught, believe it or not, by Hunter. And Hunter still on his feet inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. The ball was tipped, and Hunter was the man on the spot.
And it all started with Williams staying in the pocket. He saw pressure in his face. He did not blink. He stood there, took the pressure. Great pass, but greater catch by the receiver. Teams practice the tip drill every day in practice, and you see why right there.
Verlin Hunter with the reception. It was 41 yards on that one, so a couple of long plays in this game by both teams. 1st down and 10. Here's Grambling in the red zone so far this season, and they keep the ball on the ground, running it to the right side. And that time it was Justin Kelly on the carry. And Kelly down to about the 20, making that the 16-yard line. It'll be 2nd down, a gain of about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. And that's what Kelly has done so far this year with 3 touchdowns rushing, averaging 2.4 yards per carry. He's still in the lineup with this quarterback who goes back to pass. Into the flat, and is caught. Now they call it incomplete, but he's saying he hit the ground. So they're calling it an incomplete pass.
And Grambling State does a great job in the red zone.
They do. Chester Rogers was the intended receiver there.
And that's a great attempt by the receiver to make a big play. But Grambling, you know, in the red zone, they're scoring 28 times in 36 attempts, 23 of those being touchdowns. So they've done a good job in the red zone.
They're 6th in the conference, though, in that department out of the 10 teams. So somebody's scoring a lot, aren't they? Boy, that was trouble written all over that pass. A lot of green jerseys around that football, more so Then there were white jerseys. Verlin Hunter was the intended receiver. So it brings up a 4th down, and probably the field goal unit will come on for the Tigers. Mark Orozco, 9 of 13 in field goals so far this year. His longest is 45, and that came against Bethune-Cookman earlier this season. This will be a 38-yard attempt. He made his first 6 as a collegiate. He's a freshman. And then let's see how this one is. No good. Off to the right. So Grambling still with a goose egg on the scoreboard.
Right now, from a confidence standpoint, you have to look at the Delta Devils and feel like they're right where they want to be. They've established a run in this ball game early with some big runs, with some good plays by the quarterback on some keepers. They had one bad play that kind of put them back in field position, but now their defense comes out and holds once again. So they have to have confidence right now.
Well, Mississippi Valley, like you said, they've been bending a little bit here, especially on that last drive, but they didn't give up anything, and that's important. Mississippi Valley comes in 1-6, 1-3 in the conference. Here's the quarterback, Ivy, handing the ball off straight ahead. Of course, there's Broderick Fobbs, first year. His dad also played at Grambling under Eddie Robinson. He played at Grambling under Eddie Robinson. His dad was a head football coach over at North Carolina A&T, and asked him earlier, you know, when did you realize you wanted to coach? He said, I always wanted to be a coach. And it just kind of rolls downhill, and he took a lot of stuff from Eddie Robinson, and of course his dad through Eddie Robinson. Ivy back to pass. Now he's going to take off and run with it. Does a good job with his feet. Tried to bring it to the outside, but they were waiting on him. Nicholas Peoples, the first man to hit him defensively, but not before he picks up the first down at the 33-yard line.
And it's a great job once again when he sees a lane, he sees a seam, he's able to get north and south and get positive yards. What that will do, that will make Grambling State adjust what they're doing defensively. That'll make them hold back on a lot of the blitz packages that they employ.
Quintavious Peterson, and look at what they've done offensively so far this year. Tonight, 120 yards already, and compared to what they've been averaging coming into the ball game. Peterson calling the signals. Now he pitches. Not a good hit. Not a good pitch, and maybe Grambling got lucky on this one. They did. They recovered that one. Not a good pitch from the quarterback Peterson to Crenshaw. Crenshaw couldn't handle it. It was a little high, so we get the first turnover of the ball game, and it's a fumble. And Grambling gets the ball in great field position at the 25-yard line.
That was a great job by the defender attacking the pitch man, not allowing him to be comfortable right there. You see him attack the pitch man. The quarterback did not make eye contact. Javonte Williams did a great job not worrying about what was going on outside of him, but making the pitch uncomfortable for the quarterback Peterson.
So Grambling now with an opportunity to put some points on the board. They were down here just a moment ago. Were they able to score on the field goal? Here's a pass out in the flat. And the fumble again on the opposite side. Leak had the catch. Let's see. And Mississippi Valley recovers. So back-to-back fumbles on back-to-back plays.
And you know, in football games, there's a thing I call Mr. Momentum. And you see Mr. Momentum going from sideline to sideline. Now he's back over on the Mississippi Valley State sideline. See right here, great play, putting his helmet on the football, form tackling. This is what your coaches coach you to do. Great job by Mississippi Valley putting the helmet on the football and recovering that fumble.
That was Leak who had the reception. Looked like he had a little running room, but then the defense made sure he coughed that ball up. And you talk about turnovers in this particular ball game. Grambling was +1 in the giveaway takeaway department coming in. They'd fumbled 27 times, lost 13, plus threw 9 interceptions. That's 22 turnovers. They had 14 turnovers the first 3 games of the season. They protected the ball the last 6 games. They've only had 8 in the last 6 after 14 in the first 3.
And I think when you look at this play, the ball is coming out before he hits the ground. You see the football coming out. I think that will be determined to be a fumble. And we talked earlier in the ball game and keys to victory. And for Grambling, no turnovers. You cannot allow an opportunistic team like Mississippi Valley State that has nothing to lose, Charlie, nothing to lose, to give them easy turnovers, because now, like I said, momentum comes back on this sideline.
Rick Comegys, they're reviewing it upstairs. This Southwestern Athletic Conference, one of the FCS conferences that uses replay on televised games. And Cass Pennington, a longtime official in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, is one of the replay officials. In fact, one of the officials on the field is the son of NFL referee Jerome Boger, who happens to be here tonight. He's off this weekend, doesn't have a game. His son is the back judge down on the field. So a lot of lineage going on here tonight with Roderick Fobbs and his dad, Lee Fobbs.
There's a lot of football history on the field right now. When you're talking about officiating, you're talking about coaching. And Coach Fobbs talked to us about learning through Eddie Robinson, through his father.
After further review, the ruling of the field stands. First down, Mississippi Valley.
And there's our referee tonight, Kevin Boitman. After review, the ruling on the field stands. As you said, the ball was coming out far as before the runner got down. That was Dominic Leak who lost the ball. So it's first down and 10 from Mississippi Valley at their own 20-yard line. Now the handoff to the right side, and it's Davis on the carry back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Deshaun Davis, senior out of Los Angeles, California. Call him the bull type runner.
Well, he's a converted linebacker. You saw it on that play. He put his head down and he went north and south. And he falls forward. And that's what you want from your big backs. Fall forward.
Out to the 25-yard line. Second down and 5. And this time the quarterback puts it in the belly, takes it out. There's Peterson. Peterson still on his feet across midfield and out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Sean Gregory is the offensive coordinator for Mississippi Valley, a former Jackson State quarterback, and he's put together a whale of a game plan here, hasn't he?
Well, you see what they're doing. They're using Grambling State's aggressiveness against them. When the defensive end crashes down, Peterson has done a good job of pulling that ball back out of the back's belly and getting around the edge. As long as Grambling State continues to blitz and bring those defensive ends crashing down, you're going to give Peterson that lane going around the outside.
45 yards on that run by Peterson, who came in averaging just about 2.8 yards per carry, but his average has skyrocketed tonight, hasn't it? It is first down and 10 at the 30-yard line. Now a timeout is called by Mississippi Valley, something that maybe they didn't see that they liked. And you know, we talked about how important this game is for Grambling. Well, they've got their backs up against the wall right now. They're down 7-0. We'll step aside. 5:36 remaining first quarter. 7-0 Mississippi Valley.
Under the roof of
7-0 Mississippi Valley over Grambling here in Edabina, Mississippi. And Quantavious Peterson, look at what he's done tonight. 95 yards. This is a career high for him in a game rushing. And he's had a couple 40-yard runs, and his high coming in was 37 yards in terms of his longest runs of the season. So he's getting it done for the Delta Devils at the 30-yard line. He keeps it again, goes around left side, little hesitation, step, and down inside the 20 to the 15, and another first down. Coming right at you, huh?
Great job holding on to the football, because Mike Roach laid the wood on Peterson. He's got to be careful. You've got defenders coming from all sides. Excuse me, Tyree Hollins laid the wood on him on that play. So he's got to be careful holding on to that football.
So it's first down and 10, ball at the 15-yard line. And now they keep it on the ground straight ahead with the big guy Davis carrying along with Crenshaw. Make that Crenshaw on the carry, number 24. And Crenshaw picks up maybe a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
And coming into the ball game, the book on Peterson was more elusive of the 2 quarterbacks between he and Patrick Ivey. And he does better in the zone run game, which is what Valley wants to do in this ball game.
Gabriel Jackson is in there, number 41, at the fullback spot. He has no stats this year, but he can block. And that's what he's in there for with Crenshaw. And there's Crenshaw getting the ball. And Crenshaw straight ahead behind that fullback, Gabriel Jackson. And he's down to the 11-yard line. It'll be 3rd down. 3rd and about 6.
Crenshaw to carry.
And the coaches like Crenshaw, the true freshman.
Oh, yeah.
They like what he's able to do. He's more of an outside runner, but you see they're not afraid to take it in between the tackles.
Very elusive type runner from Wetumpka, Alabama. Came in averaging 3.4 yards per carry. See what offense Sean Gregory dials up this time. Everett Todd is the defensive coordinator for Grambling, trying to put the brakes on. Throws incomplete. Good defense in the end zone by Mike Roach. But there's a penalty marker down, and that's could be pass interference. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I think Roach reached over him. He did not play the football. He played through the receiver. He's got a lot of receivers.
Number 6, defense. The ball comes in the end zone. The ball will be placed from the 2-yard line. Automatic 1st down.
So it was on Mike Roach, the pass interference penalty.
And what I like about this play is Peterson going through all of his progressions. You see him with a quick release on that play, but you see Peterson holding on to the receiver's waist and reaching around him as opposed to trying to just play through the football.
Stafford was the intended receiver. Davis in the backfield beside his quarterback. Hands to Davis. He cuts it inside, and he is not going to get away from Jamison Goings. Big number 90 was the first one to wrap him up.
And the problem on that play is Deshaun Davis is tiptoeing. When you're on the goal line, you've got to hit it. You cannot be indecisive. You've got to hit the hole.
Deshaun Davis.
So it'll be 2nd down and goal. Actually may have lost a yard or 2 on that because the ball, this drive started at their own 2, 1st and goal. Now it's 2nd and goal from the 4. Again, Davis, the 2nd back. They're working out of the I this time. Davis again, hit in the hole, bounces outside and will not get there. Will not get there, or Sakwi, the first man to hit him.
But I tell you what, I like the way the big fella attacked the hole. This is what you've got to do on goal line, and this is what happens. They stopped him, but he got the better of that hit when Aaron Breed came in. I tell you what, Aaron Breed will think twice before he goes and sticks his head in there again when the big fella's coming through. But that's what you have to do. You have to be a bull in the china shop down on the goal line. Put your head down and try and get to the end zone.
Go ahead.
This is a big play right here.
3rd and goal at the 3. One of our impact guys was Breed. There's the outside move. And will he get there? No. Wrapped up before it could cross the goal line by Tyree Hollins, one of our impact players.
Great job by Hollins getting down to the big fella's legs and not allowing him to reach that ball across the goal line. And you see the Valley players, they want to go for it right now, but I think it's a great decision by Coach Comagese to get the field goal. You want to put points on the board. We talked about red zone scoring. You want the TD, but you want to put points on the board right here. 2
of 5 of field goals for Galon this year. Galon will be kicking this one from the 7-yard line, or are they going for it? No, they're going to go for it.
Okay.
I think they're going to go for it. A timeout was called.
Timeout, Mississippi Valley.
By Mississippi Valley. That's their 2nd timeout that they have called here in the first half. We're actually in the first quarter with 1:34 to go. So they've used 2 of their timeouts already. I guess they were trying to make a decision on whether they were going to go for it or not.
Well, I think Coach Comagese responded to his team, urging him to allow them to go for it. And when you look at this ball club and what they've done early, I say, why not? they have nothing to lose coming into this game. They've been successful offensively, not as successful as they want to be with these 3 downs down here close to the goal line. But put it on your defensive player, put on your offensive lineman to beat the defense up and get that 1 yard.
Let's look at that goal line stand again. The wrap up by Tyree Hollins to see if he got across. I mean, they're looking at it, or they reviewed it upstairs, but I don't think that anything's going to change. But they're going to go for it now. 4th and goal. Davis, the second back in the aisle. Quarterback keeps it. He's not getting anywhere. Or did he? Yes. Boy, that took a long time, didn't it? I think the coaches are upset thinking forward progress and stop.
Well, I think what he did was he started to try and do the quarterback slip straight up the center's back, but he kept his feet moving, got around to behind the guard and was able to get across the line, the goal line to get a touchdown. But he's running off the field right now like he hurt his left arm. So we have to see what's going on with that injury right now. But that was a great job continuing to keep his feet moving. If the whistles don't blow, the play is not dead. If you see right here, right now he gets stuck behind the center, but he gets outside. And a great job by Gabriel Jackson assisting him to get to the end zone, to get across the end zone for the touchdown.
They're going to review it, I believe. They're going to review that one. And, of course, I'm sure the Grambling coaches are hoping for a different result. Let's look at it from our goal line camera.
Let's see if we can see if he gets across the goal line. From that angle, you can't see very clear, but all of the green shirts and green jerseys seem to be across the goal line. Where they're picking him up from, it looks like he's across the goal line.
So our referee comes over and talks to the powers that be that are upstairs, looking at this one again. Mississippi Valley, only 1 game left on their schedule for the season. They play Southern University next week. This is their last home game of the year. They'll play that game against Southern down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Grambling, meanwhile, have 3 games left, including today's game, if you add this one. And then they will play Alabama State at home before taking on Southern University Saturday after Thanksgiving down in New Orleans in the Bayou Classic.
And you have to wonder, is Grambling State looking ahead to those ball games and looking past the team on paper they should come in and beat? Because right now, Mississippi Valley is looking like the team that's undefeated in the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Oh, yeah. When you look at the preseason poll of these teams, I mean, Grambling was picked to finish last. Alabama A&M was picked to finish last.
After further review, the ruling of the field stands.
So, going for the extra point, 10 plays, 76 yards. It was aided by that pass interference penalty in the end zone. Drive started. Actually, I thought it started at their 20-yard line. That was an 80-yard drive, actually. So they're going for the point after. Galen, kick is up, and the kick is good. So 14-0. Who would have thunk it, as they say, huh? Peterson with 2 touchdowns to his credit today. A 10-yard run and a 1-yard run. And the point after is good. He also had a 45-yard run on that drive. So he helped his own cause.
Well, Mississippi Valley State is coming to play football tonight, and I don't know if Grambling's woke up yet.
Well, let's look at Mr. Peterson, what he's been able to do so far tonight. Now, here's a kid that's out of Shelby, Mississippi, Broad Street High.
It's a great job by Peterson deciding to take the ball right in the middle on the quarterback draw. He spread the defense out, parted the seas, and here he has a keeper around the outside with a defensive end aggressively crashing down. Great open field running, great vision. And you see right here, great job to tuck the ball again and run and get to the end zone. And right here, a great job by Peterson keeping his feet moving, and a greater job by fullback Gabriel Jackson making sure his quarterback gets across the end zone for the second score.
remember, those are turnover points. Also, both of those scores came after turnovers by Grambling State University. So 14 points put up on the board right now as the ensuing kickoff returned by Kajandre Domino, and he pulls the ball all the way out to the 44-yard line. So good field position for Grambling on their fourth offensive possession of the day. From their own 44-yard line, trailing 14-0 to Mississippi Valley. And here's the quarterback. He's going to keep it. Jonathan Williams going around the left side, but not much running room for him that time. And he was met by Byron Scott, who started 3 games at that left end position for Mississippi Valley this year.
Gain of a yard, 2nd and 9.
And right now, Grambling looks unsure offensively what they want to do.
Martin in the backfield. Here's Peterson. And it's caught wide open is Williams. And Chad Williams is down inside the 35 to the 32-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 10 for the Tigers of Grambling with 47 seconds left here in the first quarter.
Pass complete.
Great job by Williams finding the hole in that zone and presenting himself big for the quarterback Williams to get him the football.
A lot of Williams on this team, and none of them are related. There's Jonathan back to throw, looking long down the field, and it's incomplete on the far side. Again, this time it was Verlin Hunter who he was trying to get the ball to.
Pass incomplete, 2nd and 10.
And that was a good job by Jeremy Johnson not to react to the receiver trying to make a play on the football and playing through him. Often you see young defensive backs react to receivers and get interference calls because they get nervous.
Domino in the lineup on the near side. So is Anthony McGee. Throws in the middle of the field, and it's caught by Verlin Hunter right at the 10-yard line. And he got hit, but he held on to the football.
And great job by Hunter on the skinny post, and greater job by Williams setting his feet, getting the football to his receiver where only he can make a play on it. And the receiver did a great job of holding on to the football, knowing the safety was going to get a hit on him.
1st and goal at the 10 for Grambling, trailing 14-0 in this ball game. Juwan Martin in the backfield with his quarterback, Quantavious Peterson. And that's the end of the first quarter here at Ada Bena, Mississippi. So if they score, they're going to have to go all the way down to the other end of the field. It'll be 1st down and 10. Actually, 1st and 10. The ball is spotted at the 11-yard line, where Grambling trying to get on the board. They trail Mississippi Valley 14-0. As we start the second quarter here at Ada Bena, Mississippi, Mississippi Valley up 14-0 over Grambling. Grambling threatening in the red zone right now with a 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. The pass into the end zone, incomplete. Off the hands of his intended receiver down there. And trying to make that catch was Chester Rogers. A little bit too much mustard on that one.
I was going to say, put a little bit too much on that pass, but Chester Rogers still has to make that catch. A lot of times coaches, wide receiver coaches, tell their receivers, you make your quarterback look good when you make the tough catches.
It'll be 2nd down and 10. Ball at the 11, empty backfield. Again, Peterson going to the end zone. Man is there. Touchdown, Grambling State University. And it's Chad Williams. His 5th touchdown reception of the year. 11-yard touchdown pass. Jonathan Williams. His 11th touchdown pass of the year.
Great job on the route, and Jeremy Johnson fell down. Easy pitch and catch for Chad Williams.
And now for the point after. Orozco only missed 1 all season long. 2nd in PATs in the conference. And that one is good. So Grambling gets on the board with 14:50 left here in the first half. Touchdown pass. Left corner of the end zone to Chad Williams. Mississippi, on the campus of Mississippi Valley State University. We're at Rice-Totten Stadium. And if anybody who hasn't been around for, been on the moon for a long time, they don't know who Jerry Rice is or Willie Totten. They made this field famous. In fact, the field itself is named after Chuck Prophet. It's called Chuck Prophet Field at Rice-Totten Stadium. Chuck Prophet, the longtime sports information director here at Mississippi Valley. Here's the ensuing kickoff by the Tigers. Picked up by Stafford. Coming to the near side and across and right at the 30. He is dumped. They're going to say he's down by contact. The ball did come loose. Whistle blew. Referee said he is down. So Mississippi Valley getting the ball once again, leading 14-7 in this ball game.
And we talk about the SWAC conference and how the coaches have kind of been in different places. Look at this play right here. Let's see if he was down. I don't know if he was down.
First and 10, Mississippi Valley.
I don't know. Well, maybe if we see another angle.
Well, I don't think they're calling for it upstairs. So the official on the field, it was ruled down by contact. So they're not going to do anything in that situation. First down and 10. Keeping the ball on the ground. Mississippi Valley deciding to keep the ball in the running game right now. And they've been running with that young man, Crenshaw. Crenshaw out of Wetumpka, Alabama. The elusive runner. You've got Davis, the bull runner. And then you got another young man, Jeremy Dobson. We haven't seen him actually run the ball today. And now, false start.
False start. Number 77, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Kevin Wallace. He's one of those young men that's moved around. He started the last couple games, 3 games at left tackle. Started the season at left tackle in 1 game. Then went to right tackle, then back to left tackle. After this play, we want to talk a little bit about what that does from an offensive lineman's psyche, moving from one position to another, because I know you have been there and done that.
Yes, sir. I definitely have.
Second down. Back to pass, complete on the near side. And it's Stafford, and he has the first down across the 45 to the 44. Talk about that move around by the offensive line.
Well, it shows he has very good feet. When you're playing left tackle, that's one of the most important positions on the offensive line, because you're protecting the quarterback's backside, because the majority of quarterbacks are right-handed. When you can move around and play the right tackle, which is more of the power position, you're playing against a more powerful defensive ends. You've got speed tackles coming off the left edge when you're playing left tackle.
And that pass complete to Joshua Banks for close to a first down. Let's see where they mark it.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Making contact with the helmet. Number 32, defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
David Smith, the outside linebacker, charged with roughing the passer. He came into contact with his hand.
Well, you can't make contact with the quarterback's head, face, or helmet, and unfortunately, you know, it wasn't a big penalty, but it was a penalty to give them the yards that they got.
And a penalty flag is going to be whistled against Grambling State. Looks like they were offsides on the play. So it'll be 1st and 5 as we had the ball incomplete way downfield.
Incomplete, but wait a minute.
Ford was the intended receiver for Mississippi Valley, but the flag is going to be offsides against Grambling.
But I think you've also got an interference call.
So you may have 2. They'll take the one that's going to give them an automatic first down. Is it offensive or pass or defensive?
That's what I'm wondering, if it's going to be offsetting.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Offside. Number 15, defense. That penalty is declined. Pass interference. Number 9, defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
If you're watching the play, the defensive back never turns around and locates the football. He runs through the receiver, not allow the receiver to make a play on the football. And that's a great job by the receiver, Trey Ford, trying to make a catch. Although he was not going to make the catch, because he made an attempt and the defender didn't turn around, it's an easy call.
So it looks like offsides again, and they stop play. Or they're going to call.
Lack of discipline.
Offside, number 79, defense, entering the zone and making contact. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And like you said, that lack of discipline is killing Grambling right now. It's moving the ball right down the field for Mississippi Valley, where they have the ball at the 11-yard line, first down and 5. Crenshaw is the back beside his quarterback. And the whistle blows. Great job defensively by the defensive line after all of those mistakes. The Grambling State University comes up with Michael Joliet coming up with a big stop that time.
Well, Ben Leiter made a poor decision on that pass blocking. You've got to make the right decision. You've got to make the correct read. He did not make the correct read, and the defender ran right by him. He grabbed him and still was able to get by him and get the sack. And we talked about Aaron Breed earlier.
Oh, yeah. He's in there, too. Yeah.
he's a monster on the defense, and you've got to put a hat on him every play.
Joliet and Breed in there. Pass play complete down to the 15-yard line, and that's all they're going to get on that one from Joshua Rice on the reception. Freshman, redshirt out of Starkville, Mississippi. 15th catch for him this season. So it'll bring up a 3rd and 10. Ball is spotted right at about the 16-yard line. 3rd down and 10. So big 3rd down situation for this team. It was 27% coming into the game in 3rd down conversions, but 10th in the red zone, last in the conference in red zone conversion. Quarterback keeps it, and he's going to be way shy, but he gets it in the middle of the field, so it gives the field goal kicker a better chance to kick a field goal right here.
And I think that play call is a little bit conservative, but they want to make sure they get points out of it. And they didn't feel good about getting the first down, so they get the ball in the middle of the field, give their field goal kicker an opportunity to get 3 points on the board and put themselves up by 2 scores as opposed to just 1.
So this will be a 30-yard field goal attempt by Galen. 44-yarder is his long so far this year. The snap is up, kick is up, and it is no good. Off to the right. Off to the right.
Up and no good.
So each team has missed a field goal today. Grambling missed a 38-yarder earlier on their second possession. And here's a 30-yarder missed by Galen.
And he pushed that to the right off of his foot. That kick never had an opportunity. He's got to be a little bit more careful. They put the ball in the middle of the field for him. Maybe they need to put it on the left hash.
Yeah, maybe they didn't do a good job of putting it in the middle of the field, right?
If it was on the left hash, that would have been right down the middle.
So Grambling down by 7 with 11 minutes to go in the first half. Here's Peterson working the right side. Has a man wide open over there. Nobody within, and now the receiver and the defensive back both helmet-to-helmet hit. That was Chad Williams on the reception. And are they calling a fumble? Chad Williams on the reception. He's still down. The defensive back,
Latrey Jones.
was Latrey Jones who made the hit. And Latrey Jones is a little shaken up going off the field. Yeah. Both players, as a helmet-to-helmet hit. And we hate to see that and hope that Chad Williams is okay. But they're going to give the ball back to Mississippi Valley. Oh. Both players were a little slow getting up, and finally Chad Williams gets up. And he comes off under his own power with the help from the training staff.
Yeah,
he doesn't know which way to go.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Chad Williams the rest of the season. I just hope he's okay. He looked like he was out cold on that hit. And that's why they want to penalize players and they throw players out of ball games for a head-to-head contact. I'm surprised that the officials didn't look at that as a possible targeting play because of him hitting him, with head-to-head contact. Although it was full speed and he wasn't defenseless, that may have been something that they could look at.
So the second turnover for Grambling today. Valley gets the ball back at their own 37, 38-yard line. Make that the 38 of Grambling. And the pass way downfield, and they're going to say the feet just got tangled up. No flags for the receiver, Stafford, who was all the way down there. Julian Stafford, the leading receiver on this team, who's came into today's game as the 7th leading receiver in the nation in touchdown receptions and receiving yards.
And I'm very impressed with Mississippi Valley State's offensive line. They've been able to pick up the blitz. Grambling brings a lot of A-gap blitzes with their linebackers, and they've been able to pick up that blitz and give Quantavious Peterson the time that he needs to get the ball down the field.
Back to pass again. Peterson throws. Great catch inside, short of the first down, but a great catch by Daniels. Keenan Daniels, his first reception of the day, and he was blanketed down there when he made the catch by Mike Roach.
Well, I like the way he used his hands on that catch and did not allow the ball to get to his body.
It is 3rd down and 1. Grambling has done a good job in the last few series of keeping that middle kind of tightened up so the quarterback just couldn't take off.
Well, watch the defensive ends crashing and Peterson keeping the ball around the edge.
Well, he got a little pressure that time, and guess who it was putting the pressure on him? Aaron Breed, the linebacker. So he had to get rid of it quickly. Let's see what they're going to do on this 4th down situation.
And I still think they are vulnerable around the edge because of the pressure that the defensive ends and linebackers bring coming off that edge. If Peterson can put the ball in the belly of his back and pull it out like he has several times this evening, he can get around that edge.
Well, he has Deshaun Davis behind him in the eye, along with Jackson, the fullback, and he gives it to Davis, the second man, and he leans forward. Looks like he may have it. It's going to be close depending on the spot. It was 4th down. They feel like they have it. Now the officials are going to measure, I believe. They're going to measure for this one.
And I want to see the bull in the china shop running from Davis on these 4th down, 3rd and 4th down, 3rd and shorts. You know, I want to see a little bit more aggression. He fell forward, which is very good, but I want to see him not take as much time deciding where he wants to go, knowing pre-snap where he's going and making it happen at the point of attack.
You know, Mississippi Valley has received a $900,000 NCAA grant to build an academic, did not get it, an academic support program for athletes. You know, the program ensures student athletes won't take more courses than they can handle while their sport is in season. So that's a very interesting situation for them, and congratulations to them getting that from the NCAA. 14-7 our score, 10:06 left, first half. ESPNU College Football Primetime is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. 14-7 our score here in Itta, Mississippi. 10:06 left before halftime. Grambling down by a touchdown, and they have the ball after stopping Mississippi Valley on downs on that last drive at their own 28. First down and 10. Peterson back to pass on first down. Throws in the middle, and it is intercepted. Picked off by Devon Jones. Another one of our impact players. Young man out of Phoenix, Arizona, the senior. He comes up with his 2nd interception of the year.
That was a bad decision by Williams, throwing in a triple coverage. There were defenders all around his receiver, trying to get it all back at one time. You've got to be patient. You can't try and get it all.
Pass intercepted by number 22, Devon Jones. 1st and 10.
So it's 1st and 10 for Mississippi Valley. And they're across midfield into Grambling territory at the 43-yard line. Peterson throws incomplete. Flag goes down.
And that's That's a bad job by Julian Stafford. You're going to get a taunting penalty when all you need to do is go back to the line of scrimmage, go back to the huddle. You don't need to do that. Now you're hurting your ball club. As great of a player as he is, he's got to make better decisions. You got the interference penalty. Don't taunt.
So Tyree Hollins is going to be whistled for the interference penalty. Now the coaches are talking to him about.
He's got to be smarter.
Yeah, I mean, here's a young man who's a senior, a co-captain, preseason second-team all-conference selection. So you get the penalty, then you get the dead ball foul.
There are 2 fouls. Pass interference. Number 26, defense. 15-yard penalty results in an automatic first down. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 85 on the offense. 15-yard penalty. It will be first down, 10 yards to go.
So take a couple of looks at what happened here.
Correction, the number on the pass.
Well, the defender just pushes Stafford down, but you see Stafford, he points, gets the penalty. But now go back to the huddle. There's no need for that. You're a senior, you're a leader on this ball club, you're a great player. You know, you're the best receiver in the conference. You don't need that. You've got to go back to the huddle. You've got to be smarter.
The net result of both fouls is that the ball will be in the same spot. It will be 1st and 10, Mississippi Valley.
So the ball doesn't move, but they get a first down because of the unsportsmanlike penalty that was whistled against Julian Stafford. It is 1st and 10, Valley. Ball still at the 43 of Grambling. Peterson throws to the near side, and on the reception is Banks. Banks brought down immediately, and again Tyree Hollins was there on the stop along with Mike Roach. Ironic, Mike Roach's dad used to be an assistant coach. He was a defensive coordinator for Grambling when Doug Williams was coaching the squad. It is 2nd down, 2nd and 8. Ball at the 41. Under pressure. Peterson goes down, and now they're going to call. Everybody's whistling that the ball was there, but the referee still has his hands. Forward progress stop before the ball came loose. Breed was in there defensively.
You see the pump fake, they were looking for Julian Stafford on the double move, but the offensive line has got to do a better job of allowing the quarterback to have the time that he needs. And what I'm noticing is that the Grambling State defensive backs are playing press man on every receiver except for Julian Stafford. And that's why they tried to get the double move, because the defender is biting on that short route by Stafford.
So on 3rd down, 3rd and about 13. Quarterback steps up, but he's not going to get to the first down marker. And again, Breed was there to make the stop. And Peterson a little slow getting up. Finally, his center Leiter helps him up. So it's 4th down, 12. So that'll bring on the punting team for Mississippi Valley. This would be only their 2nd punt of the ball game. They've gotten down to the 46. They scored a touchdown their first drive. They fumbled another touchdown, tried a field goal, turned away on downs, and now their 2nd punt of the day.
And something to keep an eye on, Peterson's left arm. He's holding it kind of funny. He's been doing that since early in the 1st quarter. McGee
comes up and makes the catch and brings it out to the 30-yard line. Timeout on the field. 7:47 to go. Mississippi Valley trying to play the part of the spoiler. Grambling trying to hold on. They want to get to the SWAC championship on ESPNU. 1st down and 10, Grambling. They have 160 yards passing so far. All of their turnovers have occurred on 1st downs. So let's see. Here's a pass out in the flat, and it's complete to Rogers. Rogers still on his feet, and Rogers finally brought down after he gets out to the 36-yard line. A gain of about 5 yards on the play. We're to be 2nd down and 5.
And Charles Moore roughed the passer. You cannot do that. Once he releases the football, you've got to pull up.
Personal foul. roughing the passer, number 34, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, that's the strong safety, Charles Moore, coming up with the roughing the passer.
And that could have been a targeting penalty because he launched himself into the quarterback leading with his head.
Ball spotted just across midfield at the 49 of Mississippi Valley. Pass out in the flat, and it's complete again to Rogers. And Rogers down inside the 45, or they're going to spot it right at about the 40. Let's see where they're spotting it. They're going to spot it right at about the 45-yard line.
And this is how you attack a 4-2-5 defense. Quick passes.
And this is something Mississippi Valley has done a pretty good job of on defense this year, giving up only about 200 yards in passing per game. But Grambling in the first half is threatening to break that wide open.
Well, they play such good pass defense because when you play a 4-2-5, you got kind of a shell with your defensive backs. You've got 5 defensive backs out there, and they're playing a shell defense, keeping everything in front of them so they don't give up a lot of big plays over the top.
But they also are giving up about 200 and some yards rushing a game. Here's a good run up the middle by Martin, Jawan Martin. And Martin moves the chains inside the 35 to about the 33-yard line.
And you said it right there. When you play 5 defensive backs, you're soft in the middle. So those guys have got to come up and be able to put a hat on somebody.
First down and 10 again. This time they're working the left side. And again, this time the carry is by Kelly, Justin Kelly. Kelly in the lineup now for Grambling. Kelly coming out. Martin coming back in. So they're alternating their running backs. Both of them doing a pretty good job of moving the chains and moving the football. This drive started at their own 30-yard line. This Martin caught in the backfield, nowhere to run. Jeremiah Russell, who started every game at defensive tackle, comes up with the stop.
And that's a great job getting off the block, getting in the backfield, making the tackle for loss. You see him right here playing against the block. The guard has to do a better job of getting on him when you're pulling around. You cannot allow him to get behind you and get pressure in the backfield.
Third down. Incomplete. A little low. Trying to get it to Brazil. One of the tight ends coming out. He just couldn't handle it. For this Brazil.
They ran a little counter action on that play, trying to fool the defense. But Sean Fugate got in there and got pressure on Williams. It did not allow him to set his feet to try and get that ball down the field.
So now Grambling will call a timeout as they look like they want to bring, they don't know if they're going to bring the punting unit on or the field goal kicking unit. The ball is spotted at the 28-yard line. It'll be a 45-yard field goal, which is, Orozco has hit one from 45 so far this year. So therefore he's within his range. So let's see what they come up with.
Friends can get a free quote and save money on their car insurance.
And let's talk about Grambling. Of course, this is a school that was founded in 1901, named after a white sawmill owner, P.G. Grambling. He donated a parcel of land for the school to be constructed. Charles Adams was the school's first president. 5,000 students enrolled. Ralph Waldo Emerson Jones was the second president, who was also a highly successful baseball coach from 1936 until he retired in 1977, and he's the man that hired the legendary Eddie Robinson. So Grambling been around a while. Fourth down, punting situation. Short punt, pooch punt, dies inside the 10-yard line. That was Jonathan Wallace with the punt. Timeout on the field. Ball will be spotted at the 7. 5:18 remaining. First half. 14-7. Mississippi Valley on top of Grambling. So far, the Mississippi Valley Delta Devil faithful have something to cheer about. Their team ahead of Grambling, the #1 team in the Western Division, 14-7 here in the first half of play. Led it 14-0. Scored on the first drive and the first drive of the ball game. That is, Valley did. Here's the quarterback decides to come to the right side. This is Ivy now in the lineup. They've changed quarterbacks. They started with Quintavious Peterson, and now Patrick Ivy, the senior out of Centerville, Illinois, Calhoun High product. Not as elusive as Peterson in the running game, but more of a drop back type of passer.
Well, he has to do a good job of holding on to the football as well.
And we have a player down, injured for Mississippi Valley. Looks like one of the offensive linemen who's back about the 3-yard line.
I think that's Trayvon Wallace, and he looks like he's got a cramp.
More so than anything else, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the young man we were talking about earlier about moving around from the different positions. One of the things that is you know, you talk to Rick Comegys. How many linemen did he say he had at spring ball?
3 offensive linemen in spring ball.
3 offensive linemen in spring ball. But then once he got everybody together, you look at Trevin Wallace, a young man who's limping off the field. You look at Okonu, who started all but 2 games, the best run blocker at the left guard spot. You look at Leiter, the center, who started 6 games. Solomon starting his 4th game at at right guard. And then Sean Brown started the first 6 games at guard, then moved to right tackle against, Jackson State. These guys have got a little experience now.
Well, it's makeshift, and the longer and the more they play together, the better they will become a cohesive unit. So you like what you see as far as building and moving forward.
Well, they got the sprinklers just went off on the field. So I guess they want to water the grass. They're not used to playing on this on Thursday night. They normally will water the grass. And let's see if somebody can get the sprinkler. I've had everything happen in my career of broadcasting football games. But the sprinklers going off, this is the first.
But if you notice, it's only on the Grambling sideline.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing over here on Mississippi Valley State sideline.
There were stories years ago about when Willie Jeffries was coaching down at South Carolina State. If he went down there to play, they never cut the grass. They had sequoias, they said, growing in the middle of the field.
True story. True story. In 1993, we were going to play Notre Dame in what was billed as the first game of the century. And I tell you no lie, they did not cut the grass. The grass was maybe, 6 inches to a foot high. And they did everything they could to slow us down, and it worked. They won the ball game.
Well, that was South Carolina State's mantra back then. They made sure. I see this. It's moving around, and it's getting people on the sidelines, wetting down the players and wetting down the coaches.
Yeah, and the Grambling players seem to be enjoying it. Some guys are sticking their head down in the water, so they're enjoying it a little bit. But I tell you what, this does. It gives Mississippi Valley State coaching staff a lot more time to talk to their players and, to try and get something going with this drive on the field. We talked about them having a new quarterback in the game, Patrick Ivy. And what's interesting is, the offensive coordinator, Sean Gregory, who we failed to mention, won 3 SWAC titles himself.
Yeah,
playing at Jackson State. Yeah, so he's used to winning. And he brings winning tradition to this program as far as being the coordinator and showing these guys what to do. But I think now with the new quarterback, this gives them time to game plan a little bit more.
Well, Broderick Fobbs, you saw a shot of him. The referee went up and talked to him about what's happening. Hired back in December of last year. He was at McNeese State where he was coaching the tight ends. He was a wide receivers coach at Southern Miss. The sprinklers are finally off. Played at Carroll High in Monroe, Louisiana. Was a running back under Eddie Robinson at Grambling State University. And we talked about, him getting this job. When we talked to him, and he talks about how proud he is of having this position. He said, how could you not enjoy coming back not only to your alma mater, but he remembers growing up on that campus because he's from the area. As they keep the ball on the ground going to the left side, this time it's Crenshaw on the carry. He was able to be babysat while his mom and dad went out to the movies by some of the legends that played at Grambling. He says, how can you not want to be the head coach?
What did he say? I am Grambling.
I am Grambling. Grambling held Mississippi Valley to negative yards in the second quarter here until that last run by Crenshaw, and it'll bring up a 3rd down, or was this 4th down? This 4th down. That was a 3rd down play. 3rd and 1. It's 4th and 1. So I don't think that Rick Comegys is going to take any chances down here. He's going to send on the punting unit. There's Crenshaw. Here's Rick Comegys. Played at Millersville, coached at Cheney, coached at Central State in Ohio, succeeded Billy Joe there, went to Tuskegee, then came over to Jackson State, spent 7 years there, had 6 winning seasons, and now is here at Mississippi Valley trying to turn that program around. Here's the kick by Galen, and here's the return. And it's McGee down inside the 40. Good field position for Grambling at the 38-yard line. There's Rick Comegys. First year as the head coach. 23 years as a head coach, just 5 losing seasons. His first 2 at Cheney in 1980, 90-91. His first year at Tuskegee. That's the only time he's had any losing seasons. And then he had 1 at Jackson State. He went 8-3 after going 3-7 one year, 7-4 last year, and they fired him. But then I don't understand some of the firings that they do with coaches. I mean, I looked down at what happened at Florida A&M last week. You know, with the
Coach
coach
Holmes.
with Coach Earl Holmes down there on homecoming weekend. He's a Hall of Famer at the school.
A legend. He was there.
They could have waited until the end of the season. I don't know. Anyway, here's the quarterback on the keeper. Throws. Williams has it complete on the far sideline. And again, on the catch that time was Rogers.
And you see Williams' ability to throw the football on the run. You see the quick release right here. He has a lot of power in his passes, and I think sometimes that gets him into trouble because he tries to fit the ball in to tight creases when he shouldn't. But if you allow him the time back there, he can hurt you with the pass.
Here's back to pass again, and now they stop play.
Before the ball was snapped, we were paged. The previous play is under further review.
They were going to look at the previous play on the reception by Rogers. You were talking about Earl Holmes down there and what happened. Of course, we know Kellen Winslow, who's a friend, is the athletic director down there, but you got to wonder what precipitated. It wasn't like they were calling for Coach Holmes' head, especially the alumni.
Well, I think they should have waited. I mean, you don't do it on homecoming. Homecoming at FAMU is a big deal. You don't do that on homecoming. I think he did make that catch. I don't know what they're reviewing on that play, but back to Earl Holmes and FAMU, I don't know if you make, that call homecoming week. You've got a lot of fans and alumni and contributors coming back to the university to celebrate the school and the tradition. Whether they win or lose, FAMU homecoming is a big deal. So for them to do that and make that decision, I thought was, it was strange. And, but then they hired one of my former teammates, Corey Fuller, who's a Tallahassee native, to be the interim coach. So I think they got it right in that form of, bringing in a guy that's from Tallahassee, a hometown kid that played professionally. But with Coach Holmes, I just don't know if the timing was right.
Timing was bad, yeah.
Very inappropriate.
After further review, the ruling in the field stands. 3rd down.
We possibly, of course, we know there were 4 new coaches in terms of schools in the SWAC. Rick Comegys just makes his move from Jackson State over here. 3 other schools had new coaches, Alabama A&M. Spady's done a fantastic job. They're in great position right now. Of course, Harold Jackson over at Jackson State at his alma mater as Williams is back to pass here. And under pressure, lets it go wide open at the 5. It'll be touchdown. Grambling. Verlin Hunter with the reception. 35 yards on the catch.
And that was a great job by Williams, staying tall in the pocket, allowing his receiver to break open on the post route. Easy pitch and score. When you see right here, the receiver gets behind the defenders. The defender got caught looking in the backfield. Davin Jones, you got to pay attention to the receiver coming out. You cannot get caught looking at the quarterback. Davin Jones looked like he thought the quarterback was going to be sacked. He allowed the receiver, Verlin Hunter, to get behind him for the easy score.
So, Orozco, a kick away from tying it up. The kick is up, and it is no good. So we have a 1-point ball game now, 14-13, with 2:46 to go on the missed extra point. Only the second missed extra point by Roscoe all season long.
And right now, the kicking game is playing a big role in this ball game. We've seen 2 missed field goals. Now we've seen a missed extra point. The kicking game, we've seen 7 points be left out on the field. Now let's see the kicker. It looks good coming off of his foot, but right at the end, it veers off to the left. And he's very upset about that.
You should be. You should be. If you care anything about playing football, you should be upset when you miss a chip shot like that. Like I said, it's an extra point. He also has missed a 38-yard field goal earlier in the game. That was on their Grambling's second possession of the day. So he will be kicking off. Well, let's see. Here's Stafford at the 4-yard line on the return. Gets down the sideline and run out of bounds in front of his own bench at the 33. First down and 10. Mississippi Valley. They'll go to work at their own 33. Some of the other first-year head coaches in the league. We talked about Harold Jackson. We talked about Broderick Fobbs, who's in this game, and James Spady over at Alabama A&M. And what a job those two coaches, Alabama A&M and Grambling State, have done. Alabama A&M was not picked in the preseason poll to be where they are right now. They were picked to finish 5th in the preseason poll. Grambling was picked to finish 5th. And where are they now? Right at the top. So those coaches have done a fantastic job. Who do you know, the coach of the year in the conference, as we see quarterback sack, it always goes to the coach who wins the SWAC championship. But I think that's not always the way it should be.
Well, what's interesting is you look at Grambling State, they got the least amount of votes of anybody.
Right.
Not just in the West Division, but of anybody.
Lower than Alabama A&M, who had 34. And these are the teams that are at the top right now. That's the preseason poll. Alabama State and Southern will pick to meet in the SWAC championship December 6th in Houston. Here's the quarterback. Ivy throws it to Crenshaw, complete near side, makes a step, and gets the first down right at the 45-yard line.
And what's most important, he got out of bounds on that play. You saw the quick, elusive move, the stop and go. And I think when you get the ball to Crenshaw out in open space, he'll be able to make more plays.
2 minutes to go before halftime. Ball at the 45. Mississippi Valley, they've changed quarterbacks. They started the game with Quantavious Peterson. They've gone to Patrick Ivy now. He's running the shotgun, running the offense for Rick Comagese and Sean Gregory, the offensive coordinator. Lets it fly, almost intercepted. Not a good pass that time. Tyree Hollins had his hands on it defensively.
And he had Grant Sims wide open. You've got to pay attention to your receivers. Grant Sims is wide open with his hands up in the air. I don't know where Ivy was throwing that football. There were no Mississippi Valley players anywhere near that football. Grant Sims was wide open.
No green jerseys anywhere in the area code. It is 2nd down and 10. Crenshaw to the left of his quarterback. Letting it fly again down the sideline, trying to get Ford. And Ford was the intended receiver. Mike Roach covering. Nowhere to go with that one. 3rd down and 10.
And great job by Roach forcing Ford out of bounds. He didn't put his hands on him. Actually, that was Grant Sims again. Forced him out of bounds, but didn't put his hands on him to get the interference call. And that's what you have to do. Just run, looking. If you look back for the football, you can force the receiver out of bounds because you're not directly putting hands on him. You're indirectly running into him, looking to make a play on the football.
Back to pass on 3rd down, and tried to go over the little back shoulder pass to Stafford, but again Roach covering defensively.
He got 10 yards. Ask coach what we do. What's the fullback on that? Listen, you gotta set up. Man, I'm set up. You got him and you right. It's this.
As you look at what the two quarterbacks have done so far, fourth down, punting situation again. Good kick. That's going to be a penalty, not allowing McGee to make the catch. He wanted to make the catch. He didn't signal for a fair catch, I don't believe, but he didn't get a chance to make the catch. So they're going to call a little catch interference on him.
Kick catching interference, number 27 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, first down.
And you already have to be fearless when you're a punt returner. But he did not allow him the space that he needed to make a play on the football, and the defender had to give him a halo to make a play on the ball. Although he did not call for a fair catch, he has a halo around him to make a play on the football before you can make contact as a defender.
Baltimore Colts had a kid, I said kid, player years ago named Alvin Hayman, refused to make a fair catch on the football. And he reminds me of that time, McGee.
Yeah, you got to be fearless.
From their own 32-yard line, first down and 10, Grambling. With under a minute 15 to go, wide open in the middle of the field is Verlin Hunter, and Hunter is down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line of the first down, but we get a roughing the passer penalty, and it's going to be against Mississippi Valley.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 97, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Khalil Young whistled with the personal foul, roughing the passer. Oh, yes.
And once again, you've got to stop. And you got to understand, you cannot make boneheaded plays like that.
So now Grambling again knocking on the door, trying to get in the end zone before halftime, under a minute to go. Here's a pitch around the right side. McGee turning the corner. McGee, touchdown, Grambling. 15 yards on the run.
And you're talking about a great play. Here's misdirection. You got Williams going one way. You get McGee coming back around the other way. All the defense flowed with Williams, gave him an easy edge around the right side for the easy score.
So McGee, the senior out of Dallas, Texas, first touchdown for him this year. He's the young man that just got level on that.
Second charge, it will be 30 seconds.
He was the man that got level on that punt return, and a little pitch on the end around. Quarterback went one way, that was Williams, and he pitched to his tailback receiver McGee as a combo, going the opposite direction, and he takes it in from 15 yards out. As you look at Rick Comegys talking to his defensive coordinator Darren Hayes about what's going on.
Well, the way that you beat pressure defenses is with misdirection, with quick passes, with slant passes, and you concentrate on getting to the middle, the belly of that defense, because that's where you find open areas for your receivers. You've seen Mississippi Valley take advantage of the crashing down defensive ends from Grambling with the outside quarterback keepers, and now you see Grambling take advantage of the crashing defenders from Mississippi Valley with the misdirection.
And of course they had the penalty on Young, but beside that penalty they had completed the pass also. So they're going for the 2-point conversion right now to try to make it 21. Here's Williams back to pass, and it is caught for the 2-point conversion. And well, of course Williams with the catch, with the pass, and McGee on the other side.
And what's interesting about that play, he ran back and forth, Dominic Leak, to see what the coverage was. And when Williams saw there was no coverage that was going to flow with him, it was an easy pitch and score. And you have to wonder, was he across the line on that catch?
Well, the referee was right there and said that Dominic Leak did come up with it. So 21 unanswered points by Grambling after being down 14-0. They finally woke up, I guess.
Well, they woke up, but I think Mississippi Valley allowed them to wake up.
And look at Jonathan Williams' numbers, 14 of 24, 232 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also threw 1 pick. 3 turnovers by Grambling, and believe me, they fumbled the ball twice. They had the interception. They all occurred on first downs. And there's not intended to be an onside kick. They may have a penalty against Grambling for offsides on the kick. Grambling trying to split kick it on the ground. They weren't trying to get a onside kick, I don't believe, but it may turn out to be that way. Let's see.
Offside, number 49 of the kicking team. 5-yard penalty, replay the kick.
So the kicking team, Dre Fusilier, offside. 5-yard penalty. They'll kick it again. Grambling with 2 more games left in the regular season after this one. They'll be at home next against Alabama State. Then they'll close out the season in New Orleans at the Dome Saturday after Thanksgiving in the Bayou Classic against Southern University. Southern Jaguars, they'll play Texas Southern at home, Mississippi Valley at home before facing Grambling. Here's a return up the middle, up to the 35-yard line. And that's Crenshaw on the return for Mississippi Valley. So they'll have the ball first down and 10. 40 seconds remaining in before halftime, I should say,
Mississippi Valley.
in the first half. They mark it at the 34. First down and 10. Grambling this year 3-3 in road games.
I think Mississippi Valley is going to be okay with just getting to the half right now, kind of regrouping, getting back to the type of football they were playing in the first quarter.
Yeah.
That's when they were most successful. And I think you have to really look at getting Peterson back in this ball game. He's been the most successful offensive player for Mississippi Valley State this evening. With his running early in the game, you know, he's got over 100 yards rushing. But since he's been out the ball game, they put Ivy in, the better passer. They have not been successful with their offense.
So they're going to let the clock run down. They're going to go to halftime. Clock is at zeros. And we have a 21-14 ball game. Grambling State University. That young man had a pretty good first half. We're talking about Mr. Jonathan Williams, their quarterback. He's led them from being down 14-0, and it's now a 21-14 lead at halftime. Rick Comegys taking his team into the locker room, try to regroup them. We've had all kinds of hijinks in the first half. Even the sprinklers decided to come on. Back with halftime activities from Itta Bena, Mississippi in a minute. Rice-Totten Stadium, Itta Bena, Mississippi for the Southwestern Athletic Conference Showdown. Grambling State Tigers taking on Mississippi Valley State University, along with former Florida State offensive tackle Forrest Conley. I'm Charlie Neal. Glad you could join us. And Forrest, you look at some of the first half stats. One of the things that stands out for Mississippi Valley, third down conversions, 0 of 7.
Well, they've got to convert on third down, but they've put themselves in some tough third down places. You cannot make some of the bad mistakes that they've made as far as jumping off sides, some of the costly penalties. When you're in third and long, now you allow Grambling State to pin their ears back and come after your quarterback. So they've got to put themselves in third and short, and I think they'll do a better job with that. But then also on some of those third and shorts, they've got to make better decisions as opposed to going for long balls. Get the first down so you don't have to go for it on 4th and 1.
Well, let's look at the numbers for Jonathan Williams, the Grambling quarterback. 14 of 24, 251 yards passing today, 3 touchdowns. He has not been sacked. He's had 1 interception, And, 37-yard pass was his longest, but he's done a very good job of throwing the football and putting yards on those passes.
Well, what he's done a good job of is going through his progressions. A lot of times his initial receiver has not been open, but he's gone through his progressions. He's found his secondary and third receivers, and I think that's why he's been able to be so successful in the first half.
Well, this is a team, this Grambling team, they lost their first 3 games of the season. They lost to Lamar 42-27. They lost to Houston 47-0, and to Bethune 36-23. And now they've won 6 straight. They're looking for number 7 here tonight.
Well, in the first quarter, I didn't know if they were looking for number 7. The way they came out, very flat. But they've picked it up in the second half. And we talked about it prior to coming back on air. If they get a score right here on their first possession in the second half, I think now you start to see the wheels come off on this Mississippi Valley State team that's hung in there and played very good.
Now, you talk about Peterson. They played 2 quarterbacks between the two, 7 of 14 in terms of passing. Peterson, 6 of 10, more success in the passing department. Patrick Ivey, 1 of 4. But the thing that's probably more impressive when you look at the stat sheet is Peterson with 104 yards rushing and a pair of touchdowns.
Well, what he's done is he's used the aggressiveness of Grambling's defense with the defensive ends crashing down and the linebackers on that A-gap blitz to get around the edge. And once he gets into the open field, he's shown an ability to make moves and get positive yards.
For Grambling, Donovan McRae with 6 tackles, 2 sacks. Javon Williams with a sack. Hollins and Velat. And I don't know if some of these stats don't look totally accurate, but we'll go along with it. That's what they put down. We'll take it. Okay. So again, as we said, Grambling will get the ball to start the second half. It is Gillon kicking it off. This one is short, coming to one of the up men for the Grambling Tigers, who takes it up to the 40-yard line, and that is Dre Fusilier, a fullback out of New Iberia, Louisiana, who picked the ball up and brought it up to the 40-yard line. So Grambling gets the ball to start the second half. First down and 10 at their own 40.
First and 10, Tiger.
Jonathan Williams back to pass on first down. Wide open and down inside the 5 or 15 rather. Big catch by McGee. McGee just couldn't get away and shake the defensive back, but as you said, hey, they came out real quick, didn't they?
And a great job by Williams breaking contain and looking down the field. And you saw McGee continuing to work himself open. When the quarterback starts moving around in the backfield, that's when receivers can get open.
Boykin, the man covering downfield, held on for dear life. It is first down and 10. The ball spotted right at about the 16-yard line. Here's a pitch to the left side. Trying to turn the corner, coming inside. And touchdown will be gained by Martin. Or did they knock him out? Did they whistle the play dead? Something happened.
Holman, number 81, offense. 10-yard penalty.
I'm going to call it back.
And the wide receiver, Kutno was holding on that play. He didn't have to hold. He had a pretty good block on that play. And sometimes guys get overexcited because they know they are the final block, the final piece for the back or the receiver getting to the end zone. You got to get your hands out of there.
When you were playing, you played offensive lineman. Did you get a lot of those calls?
No, there's a way that you do it.
I'll call Charlie Ward and find out.
We got to get your hands inside the shoulder pads, and if you look,
unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 51, defense spitting in the face of another player. The player is disqualified. Half the distance to the goal line, first down.
So now we have an unsportsmanlike conduct against Mississippi Valley State University.
Correction, the unsportsmanlike conduct is number 51 on the offense. 15-yard penalty, the player is disqualified.
It was against Grambling's number 51, Andre Gunn, the center. Redshirt junior out of Tampa, Florida, and he's been disqualified.
And it's getting chippy out here, but that's very important. because the center quarterback exchange, you're talking about a difference right now. And the quarterback has to get used to the new center. But we've talked about it earlier. You cannot get into other players' faces and talking. You see right here on the goal line, you see him turn around. Oh, he spit. He spit on him.
That's what it was, and the official saw it. Oh. And that's why he was ejected from the game. And it's clear he did it.
Yes, and I see Khalil Young, and I saw Khalil Young on the sideline, very angry, very frustrated, and I see why. If someone spits on you, that's probably the worst thing you can do to somebody, spit on.
And he may be gone for the next game.
You've got to keep your composure.
First down. It's first down and a lot of yards to go. They have to get to the 7-yard line, and the ball comes loose. And who has it? Mississippi Valley has it. Mississippi Valley coming up with the loose ball. It comes off of the hands of Sean Fugate. Fugate comes up with the fumble recovery, so it's the 4th turnover of the day for the Tigers of Grambling. Just when it looked like they were going to put this thing away, they were all the way down inside the 15 or about the 16-yard line, and now they turn the ball over.
Well, great job by Charles Moore to get around the edge and cause the fumble, but Fugate almost messed up. He tried to pick the ball up initially and run with it. He lost it, but he was able to get it back under control and get the ball down the field. Defensive coaches always tell defensive players, don't make the big play, just cover up the football. You're a defensive player for a reason.
So at the Grambling 36-yard line, again, a first down turnover for the Grambling Tigers. That was a first and a lot of yardage, but still it was a first down play. Ivy sacked in the backfield. Nowhere to run for him that time as he is caught by SWAC. Number 15 there, the senior out of Houston, Texas.
And it's interesting, that 4th turnover, all turnovers have been on first downs. That's very interesting, and you have to wonder if the play calling on first down right now has been a little suspect.
Well, here's a pass out in the flat to Stafford, and Stafford finally run out of bounds in front of the Grambling bench on the far side of the field. Ball spotted right about the 38-yard line. Third game with 4+ turnovers, and they've lost all of those games this year. Remember, I said in the first 3 games they committed 14 or something like that turnovers. 14 turnovers. A lot of time for Ivy. Lets it go, has a man wide open at the 10-yard line, and it's complete on the far side of the field to Keenan Daniels. Keenan Daniels, the junior out of Jackson, Mississippi, wide open.
And great job by Peterson spinning out, avoiding the blitz or pressure and getting the ball down the field where its only receiver can make a play on it right by the sideline. You've seen his footwork throughout this evening get him out of trouble. It's also allowed him to get some positive runs, and that was a great job right there, avoiding the rush and being able to give himself more time to get the ball down the field.
Peterson back to pass on 1st and goal, has it caught, complete, and they're trying to knock the ball away out of the hands of Stafford, who made the catch.
And Stafford started to come alive in the second half.
Yes,
only 2 receptions in the first half. He's already got 2 receptions on this drive.
So Peterson, who started the game, drove down the field, has 2 touchdowns running himself, has driven this team all the way down from the Grambling 36 after the fumble recovery. Let's see what they're able to do. In the red zone, there's Crenshaw. He has the ball, stumbles forward, and no signal from the referee. They say he's down at the 1.
And he showed great balance on that play. If he was able to gather himself, I think he could have gotten in for the score.
He was stumbling a little bit. This will be 3rd down and goal. At the 1, quarterback Peterson takes it, tries to go right side. I think he may get in this time. Nope, they're saying no. It looked like he had slithered to the right of his center and crossed the goal line, but
forward progress was stopped. Fourth down.
Fourth down, forward progress stopped. So in comes the heavyweights. Gabriel Jackson, Deshaun Davis.
And not enough push in the middle of the offensive line. You've got to be a road grader down on the goal line. You basically are bear crawling in because you don't want the defender to get up under you.
So let's see who gets it. It'll probably be Davis, the second man in the eye, behind the fullback Jackson. And he gives it to Davis. And Davis, they're saying no. He got submarined down there. It was not a good exchange between the quarterback and the running back.
Well, it started off with the quarterback getting tripped up, then the running back getting the football, and when he got the football, the offensive lineman would push back into him. You see the defensive lineman get up under the offensive lineman and push him back, but you've got penetration by Larry-Stalling, which stalled the play in the backfield and prevented him from getting a running start, and Deshaun Davis couldn't get the ball across the goal line.
Yeah, Larry-Stalling, the big junior out of Mobile, Alabama, did a great job, number 79, getting in there, as you said, and submarining that play, getting the ankle of the running back Davis. So Grambling now with the ball all the way back at the 1 yard line. They're going to review this play upstairs, the replay officials, just to make sure he did not get into the end zone. That is the running back Davis.
But it starts with the offensive line. You've got to take on the challenge of knocking the defender back. And you've got to be, we used to get down on all fours, and you basically bear crawl in because your objective is to be lower than the defender. You don't want the defender to be up under you and be able to push you back into the line of scrimmage. You've got to get movement and a surge, and we've yet to see a surge. On the touchdown where Peterson was pushed in by Gabriel Jackson, they didn't get a surge. Gabriel Jackson actually pushed him in. You've got to get a surge when you're down on that goal line.
You're talking about the turnover situations at Grambling.
The field stands. The runner was short of the goal line. The ball will go over on downs. It will be first down, Grambling.
Against Lamar in their season opener, Grambling committed 5 turnovers. The next week against Houston, they committed 6 turnovers, and they lost to Bethune-Cookman. They committed 3 turnovers. So that's not the way you want to. And they lost all 3 of those football games, by the way. So let's see if Grambling can get out of this hole right now. They're running from the I formation, and they do get a little breathing room, maybe a yard, not much more than that, as they keep the ball on the ground. They run it with Facilier. Number 49 is in there. Also, Martin is in there.
Second and 9.
And this is when you can take a chance because you're getting man coverage on the outside.
Kelly, Justin Kelly. Second back, Justin Kelly has the ball, gets a little breathing room. Out across the 5 to the 6 yard line goes Justin Kelly. Kelly, sophomore out of Port Allen High in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Third down.
And I like the fact that they're going with the hurry-up offense. They're not allowing Mississippi Valley to bring in substitutions on defense.
Working from the shotgun on this 3rd and 5. Kelly behind his quarterback. Now Williams wants to throw, has a man there, and it's good. Complete, first down, and plenty to spare. And on the catch is Chris Brazil, remember they threw to him in the first half. Was down at his feet. He couldn't catch it. They put it right where he needed it. It is up high.
And that's that man coverage I talked about. They had an opportunity and they took advantage of it. The safety, Keith Gibson, was late getting over on coverage. And when you find seams in that zone, it's easy to make a play.
So trying to move it down the field. Here's Kelly working back and forth behind his quarterback, and he has the ball right now. Justin Kelly working trying to go around the right side and finally swung out of bounds in front of his own bench by Khalil Young on the far sideline. And now a flag goes down. They may call a late hit out of bounds, but
I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Personal foul, face mask from the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
They call a face mask. I was going to say I didn't think it was Late hit out of bounds.
Yeah, that was just football, but yeah, you see him get
he grabbed the face mask there, yeah. Well, Khalil Young charged with the penalty. The ball moved across midfield into Mississippi Valley territory at the 47-yard line. Quarterback keeps it this time. Round right side goes Williams, and Williams close to another first down. Run out of bounds right shy of the 35-yard line. We're in the third quarter with 9:15 to go. And you see Jonathan Williams, what he's done tonight in the passing department. 322 yards. That's his second 300-yard career game today or this year. And what a hit that time. Put on the running back, Justin Kelly.
I tell you what, Justin Kelly's been getting some positive runs this half.
He certainly has. Justin Kelly out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Timeout. Mississippi Valley.
So Mississippi Valley with Darren Hayes, their defensive coordinator. Hey, we got to slow down this runaway freight train. It started at their own one. Now they're knocking on our door. 21-14 is our score.
Boy, you gonna be in trouble this evening. You got a good man in front of you.
What makes a champion? It starts with desire. Then you need determination, because only one has the will to win. Toyota SWAC Football Championship Weekend.
21-14 our score, along with Forrest Conley, Charlie Neal here in Ada Bena, Mississippi. And a first down and 10 for the Grambling Tigers. This drive started at their own 1-yard line. I mean, their back was right up against the goal line. Here's Williams throwing out in the flat, and it's incomplete. Trying to get Domino on the reception. That goes for nothing. Quajandre Domino, the intended receiver. Let's look at the total yards for the two teams. Grambling in the first quarter, 131 yards, 250 cents. Valley, 184, just 100 cents. Here's Williams trying to set up the throw under pressure. Lets it go out of bounds. Lives to fight another day.
And great job by Khalil Young, continuing to chase the quarterback throughout, to not allow Williams to get his feet set and find a receiver. And that's what you've got to do with Williams. You can't allow him to sit back there in the pocket and find the receivers, because the longer you have the Mississippi Valley State defensive backs try and cover, the more opportunities they'll have to break open in the space, in the zone coverage, and Williams to find them.
Third down and 10 now. Empty backfield. 3 wide receivers to the near side. 2 to the top side. Throwing. And it's caught for a first down at the 11-yard line. So Williams put the ball right on the money in Brazil with his second catch of the night.
And Brazil has done a good job in the second half getting open, and a great catch in between 2 defenders using his hands.
Came into the game with just 6 receptions. Couldn't convert one earlier, but has done a good job, as you said, for us here in the second half. Martin in the backfield. Here's the end around to McGee. McGee coming to the left side. He scored once on it going the opposite way in the first half, but Hooker would not let him turn the corner that time.
A great job by the defensive line, getting penetration, not allowing him to get north and south. And that's what you have to do. Your defensive line and your linebackers have got to get penetration, get those gaps, and not allow the runner to get north and south.
Second down. This time, the quarterback keeps it, escapes one tackle, still running, and sandwiched right at the 5-yard line.
And Charles Moore had a great opportunity to make a great play, but you see the elusiveness by Jonathan Williams to break the arm tackle and get positive yards on that play.
So it'll be third down and about 3. Third and 3. They can get a first down without scoring. The ball is spotted right at the 5-yard line, right inside the 5. Here's a pitch to Kelly. He's in the end zone. Justin Kelly with his 4th rushing touchdown of the season.
That was a great job by Brazil on the lead block. allowing Kelly to have a free lane to get up the field and get to the end zone. Great job by Grambling, driving the ball 99 yards.
That's the most impressive thing about that drive. They were in their own end zone when they snapped the ball when they started this drive. And now Roscoe on for the point after. He missed one earlier, but he doesn't miss this one. And now it's a 28-14 ball game. We're in the third quarter. 7:20 to go. And here it is. Justin Kelly going off the right side, cuts it back in. He's in for 6. The lead is 2 touchdowns. ESPN College Football Primetime is brought to you by the Mazda 3. (28-14) our score. Grambling with 28 unanswered points. They were down 14-0 in the first quarter, but they have come back, scoring here in the third quarter. It was 21-14 at the half. They just completed a 99-yard drive in which they were 3 of 3 in third down conversions on that drive alone. In the first half, they were only 1 of 4 in third down conversions. So they're starting to pick up where they normally do a good job.
Well, you can officially say they've got their mojo back.
Yeah, Crenshaw on the return for Mississippi Valley on the ensuing kickoff at the 23-yard line is where the Delta Devils will go to work. A little pushing and shoving down there where the tackle was made. And now order's restored and cooler heads prevail. So the last 3 times Grambling touched the ball possession-wise, they have scored. The last 2 possessions of the first half and here in the third quarter.
And right now, if you're Mississippi Valley State, you've got to settle down. You drove the ball down. The last time you had it, you just couldn't get the score.
Got all the way down to the 1 and turned it over on downs. And then Grambling took advantage of it, brought it all the way back 99 yards. First down and 10. The pass from Peterson, near side, out across the 30 to about the 31-yard line. This is Crenshaw coming out of the backfield, making the reception. And Crenshaw picks up about 8 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 2.
And what shouldn't be overlooked is Grambling has done a great job on Stafford tonight. They have not allowed him to get off.
Stafford, they've held him pretty much in check. He's had a couple catches, but nothing like he normally is used to. Came into the game with 53 receptions, ranked 7th in the nation in touchdown receptions and receiving yards per game. Had 9 touchdowns coming in. And now the quarterback struggling, trying to get to the first down mark. Is going to be very close. Had to get to the 34. Let's see where they mark it.
And great job on the backside pursuit by Donovan McCray. You saw Peterson wanted to cut back, but Donovan McCray on that backside pursuit did not allow him to have a lane to cut back.
They're going to measure. We're at the Rice-Totten Stadium as you look at Rick Comegee's first year as the head man here in Itta Bena, Mississippi, after 7 years at Jackson State. Familiar with the SWAC. One of 4 coaches that found their way into schools this year in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, but not new to the conference, and it's going to be a little bit shy of the first down. After the measurement, we talked about Rice and Totten. You know, the guy who made them what they were was the guy they called the gunslinger, Archie Cooley. He was their coach back in the mid-'80s. And there's the third down conversions for Mississippi Valley tonight. Last in the conference in that department coming into the game. 27%. Third down and inches. Let's see if they can convert this one. Quarterback decides to keep it and looks like he has it. Had to get to the 34. He made it to the 35. So it'll be a first down. They move the chains. So one of the few third down conversions that Valley has had tonight.
Well, one thing they did differently, they went 3 wides. So they spread out the Grambling State defense, which gave the quarterback a lane to get that first down. Usually on the short yardage plays, they pack it all in. So you got the defense packed in as well. But when you go 3 wides, you now spread them out a little bit.
Well, that's what they were doing early in the game, which gave them that 14-0 lead. And the quarterback was able to sneak up in the middle. It was spreading the offense out. Fullback Jackson is in there now. Crenshaw off the left side, following the fullback, but no positive yards there. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
And once again, Larry Stallings getting pressure, getting up the field, getting in the backfield, not allowing the back to get north and south.
Charlie Crenshaw, the running back, 2nd down and 10 for Mississippi Valley. He stays in the lineup. Again, Peterson started the ball game at quarterback for Mississippi Valley, gave way to Patrick Ivey just before halftime, but has been in all the way here in the second half. Has a pair of rushing touchdowns to his credit so far. Throws, and it's caught on the near sideline by Ford for first down.
And that was a big time throw by Peterson. He threw off his back foot. He didn't have room to step up and throw that ball. You see the arm strength on that play.
Make that Sims on the reception correction.
Look at all the pressure. He couldn't step up. You see pure arm strength on that play. And the fact that he stood tall in that pocket and delivered that pass.
Redshirt freshman out of County High here in Itta Bena, Mississippi. First down and 10 at the 46-yard line. There's a pass that goes incomplete. Looks like a mix-up between the receivers, Daniels and Stafford. He threw right between the two of them as they were crossing behind the across midfield.
And I saw Stafford tap himself on the chest and say, "My fault."
One thing as a receiver, you have to be able to read those defenses and make those adjustments and hope you and the quarterback are on the same page.
And they've got press man on the outside. They may be able to take a chance right here.
Quarterback tried to step up and could not. And guess who was there to meet him? Aaron Breed, number 59.
And this is the second time they've tried that stop and go route. But once again, because of the pressure, Peterson is not able to have an opportunity to throw the football because the receiver, both times on this play, Keenan Daniels had a defensive back beat on the stop and go route.
You're talking about Breed, co-defensive player of the week in the conference. 5 sacks last week against Texas Southern. It is third down. We'll call it 14. Here's the quarterback. He's just determined to take off and run this time. And again, it was Breed who came up to make the stop.
And I thought that was a bad decision right there. I think he had a lot more time to look for receivers before, making the decision to tuck the ball and run it. He was not going to get the first down because there were too many defenders over there. I think because of all the pressure he's faced in the second half, he prematurely ran that football.
It looked like he was predetermined in his mind. I'm not going to throw it. I don't care what happens.
And he had receivers. You've got to be patient.
Punting situation. And it takes a Mississippi Valley bounce and is down again inside the 5 at about, they're going to mark it at the 10. There's a timeout on the field with 3:09 remaining here, third quarter. This is SWAC action with Mississippi Valley trailing by 2 touchdowns. The Buckeyes and Spartans square off in a decisive stage. T.J. Barron against Connor Cook. Spartans coming off a bye week. What do you think?
Well, it's a do-or-die ball game for both ball clubs. If they want to get into the playoff, they've got to win that ball game.
Oh, great tackle in the backfield. That time, nothing doing for the Grambling Tigers. As coming up to make the stop was Davon Jones, the linebacker out of Phoenix, Arizona.
It'll be second down,
loss
16.
On the play of about 6 yards. Second down and 16. Skinner in the lineup at running back now for Grambling.
55 offense at the distance to the goal line, still second down.
Delay of game, so that moves it back even further, half the distance to the goal. The ball is spotted at the 3-yard line. They have to get up to the 21 for first down. So it'll be 2nd and 18. As I said, Cedric Skinner now in at running back. First time we've seen him today, and he has the ball, and he's brought down immediately. No running room for Mr. Skinner.
And it's a great job by Sean Fugate getting in the backfield once again, making the tackle before the offensive player can get going. Grambling State has to be very careful right here. You want to always have the ball going forward. You do not want to do anything when you're pitching back or the quarterback is dropping back. He may get tripped up. There are so many things negative that can happen with a play starting with the ball going backwards.
Rogers comes to the near side in the slot. Here's your quarterback, back to pass, throws, and incomplete on the far sideline. Looked like it had a chance of being intercepted there by Mississippi Valley, but it'll bring up a 4th down situation. So for the most part, a pretty good job by Mississippi Valley on that drive, not allowing them to march down the field as they did the previous time.
Well, they had to know that Grambling State was going to be careful. They didn't want to give up an easy score, an easy pick 6. So they did the right thing by, playing careful defense, not trying to do too much, but not allowing Grambling to get the ball going and get a first down. Now.
Whoa, look at that. Mississippi Valley, I don't know if it was blocked. I couldn't tell whether it was blocked or not, but the punter did not do a good job. That was Wallace of getting that ball out of there, and Valley's going to get the ball in great field position at about the 3, let's see, they're going to mark it maybe at the 5-yard line.
The ball was recovered by Mississippi Valley. Progress will start.
And he hit the protector. The protector was too far back.
And the ball hit him. That's what happened. It wasn't blocked by the defense.
And went off of the personal protector.
He backed into it. Yep, he backed into him. So it's 1st down and goal. Mississippi Valley at the 2-yard line. The handoff to the right side, no good for Charlie Crenshaw.
And when you're down on the goal line, I know that Crenshaw is a speedy back, but if you're going to give him the football, it needs to be a pitch. Getting him to the outside in open space and allowing him to use his speed and his quickness. I think if you're going to run a dive play, you need to get Deshaun Davis in, but Deshaun Davis, once again, has to run like a bull in the china shop when he gets the ball down there on the goal line.
This time, trying to go around the left side for Mississippi Valley is Virgil Studdard, freshman out of Birmingham, Alabama. First time we've seen him today. Number 26 running. And they still they lost about a half a yard on that one. It's frustrating from your as a lineman. I know you're frustrated, but let's talk about that after this play. Let's see what happens here on 3rd down. Straight into the line there, Studdard again. Still didn't get there. Go ahead.
See, this as a head coach, Coach Comedies, I call a timeout right now. And I'm going to challenge my offensive line. Because watch, the offensive linemen are getting pushed back into the backfield. They're standing straight up. You've got to be a road grader down on the goal line. This is when you play man football. You line up and you go head up with the defender. You cannot stand straight up.
Well, they keep the freshman in there at running back. They bring the fullback Jackson up in front of him. And now that's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter. So they'll have a little more time to talk about what's going on in terms of strategy as we get ready to start the 4th quarter. It's a 2-touchdown ball game, 28-14. Valley can cut into it. Can they score? We'll find out when we return.
Razor.
As we start the 4th quarter here, Charlie Neal, Forrest Conley, 28-14 Grambling. Looking at the game summary, Forrest, Jonathan Williams, 17 of 30, 338 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did throw 1 pick. Then Hunter with 4 receptions, 131 yards and a touchdown. Stafford, they've kind of held him in check today in terms of receptions for Valley.
Well, it got started in the 2nd quarter, and they haven't stopped.
So Mississippi Valley decides they're going to kick the field goal rather than go for the touchdown. and they do put points on the board. So that was the 7th play that was in the 3rd quarter in the red zone, and they finally came away with something. And when I say the red zone, not only the red zone, inside the 3. That made it even more complicated. 28-17 the score. 3 more points on the board for Valley. 4th quarter, Mississippi Valley started the 4th quarter with that field goal by Galan, a 27-yarder that puts them a little closer, making it a 28-17 ball game. Only down by 11 points right now. This one squibbed on the ground, finally picked up and brought up the field. Grambling's Martez Carter, and maybe he fumbled the football. Let's see what happens. A lot of scrambling down there. Let's see what happens. Who comes out of the pile with it?
I'll tell you what, this will change this ball game.
If Valley comes up with it, they're still scrambling. Have you been at the bottom of any of those piles like that?
You never know what's going to happen. The Valley players are coming up saying they've got the ball.
Well, the officials haven't said anything. The referees still haven't said anything. Now they just threw a flag on 49 for Grambling, I believe.
And he may get kicked out the ball game for stomping on a player.
And it's going to be Mississippi Valley's ball. 5th turnover for Grambling today. Our referee.
And that's Dre Fusilier.
Is that the kick was recovered by the kicking team, Mississippi Valley. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 49 on the receiving team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, they just call unsportsmanlike conduct. So the penalty is going to move the ball down inside the 20, red zone again to the 18-yard line of Grambling. Well, let's see if they can do anything positive with it this time.
Let's see, here's the fumble. They missed the face mask right there, which got him spinning.
But the ball did come out. And now pass out in the flat. And who's on the reception? Mr. Stafford, his 5th catch of the day. He came in with 30 to this drive with 4 catches, 33 yards. Picks up valuable yards that time. Came into the game needing 120 yards to go for 1,000 and chasing that record that was set by Jerry Rice here. I don't think anybody's going to ever catch that at Mississippi Valley. It is 1st down and goal. The pass out in the flat. Stafford again with the catch. Stafford inside to the 6-yard line. Actually, he lost yards on that play. Lost 2 on the play. But he makes another reception. Charlie Crenshaw now checking into the lineup for Mississippi Valley offensively, replacing Trey Ford.
And I think you try and get the ball to Crenshaw out in space around the edge. That's where he's most dangerous because he's elusive and he's very fast and very quick.
Rice, Joshua Rice far to the right. Daniels in a slot to the right. Now the quarterback decides to keep it, and he is brought down. They say the ball is down. Not a fumble. And it was Aaron Breed right there to make the stop. Mr. Breed's all over the place, isn't he?
And I think you kick another field goal.
Well, this is 3rd down.
It's 3rd down?
Yeah. So
okay, because he did get the 1st down on the play. Okay. Once again, Breed is all over the field. He makes plays. And one thing that he does very well is he sheds blockers. When they have guards try and get up to the 2nd level to block him, he does a great job of getting skinny and shedding blockers and getting to the ball carrier.
3rd and goal from the 9. Quarterback still has room, has time. Throws. End zone. Touchdown. Touchdown, Mississippi Valley. On the reception, Joshua Rice. Redshirt freshman from Starkville, Mississippi.
And this touchdown is on Quantavious Peterson. Great job using his legs. Great job waiting to the last minute to throw the football. And the ball was actually tipped. So that was a great job by Rice concentrating and making that catch.
So now, after the turnover, Mississippi Valley taking advantage of it. 5 turnovers tonight for Grambling. 4 fumbles and an interception. 12:51 the time remaining in the ball game. They're checking the replay to make sure it is a touchdown upstairs, and they say, yes, it is good.
The previous play is under further review.
Well, now, I thought they'd said it was good. Now they're reviewing it. Let's see. There's... the catch is good. The ball never hit the ground.
Was he in bounds when he made
Mike
the catch?
Roach
is the key. Let's see if he's in bounds.
Is defending.
But you see Peterson using his legs to extend the play.
Yeah, I mean,
I wonder if that right foot.
The right foot was in bounds. The right foot was in bounds.
Excuse me, the left foot.
Yeah, but you only need one now. This is college.
Yeah, but when he caught the ball, I'm wondering if the left foot was on the end, on the outside, on the outline.
Well, they're going to take a look at it. We talked about Jerry Rice and Willie Totten, and I was talking about the man who orchestrated that whole the greatest show on earth. I called it at the time. It was better than Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey, and it eventually became the greatest show on turf. But the gunslinger, Archie Cooley, he coached here from 1980 to 1986. He designed the Satellite Express passing offense, a no-huddle offense that featured 5 wide receivers.
After further review, the ruling in the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Well, they didn't say it stands. They said it was confirmed. So that's even more. Yeah. That really puts the stamp of approval on it, doesn't it? When they say confirmed as opposed to it stands.
And then you go for 2 right here to put yourself only down by 3.
We'll see. The offense is coming back on the field. They are going for the 2-point conversion. They're putting Trey Ford out to the right side. Stafford is in a slot. Crenshaw is behind his quarterback. Look at the formation that they have there. Quarterback pitches, and this is not going to work. So they don't get the 2-point conversion. The formation was kind of crazy.
Sometimes
and nothing worked.
Sometimes you just have to run a regular play. I just don't understand this play right here. Just line up in the I formation and try and get the 2 yards for the 2-point conversion.
And Crenshaw, not a good toss to him. 5-point game, 28-23. We're in the 4th quarter here in Itabena.
Introducing a PM pain reliever that dares to work all the way until the AM. New Aleve PM, the only one with a safe sleep aid plus the 12-hour strength of Aleve.
College football primetime is presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Back here in Itabena, Mississippi, 28-23, Grambling by 5. Grambling has turned the ball over 5 times tonight. Let's see if they can hold on to it on this drive. They had only turned the ball over 8 times in the previous 6 games. And they have 5 turnovers on the record so far this evening. And let's see what they can do with it this time. Let's see what kind of kickoff they're going to get. This caused problems for them the last time the ball was on the ground, and Grambling just wisely falls on it rather than trying to run it back. You don't want to avoid any other type of situations. Player down for Mississippi Valley. Sean Jackson was the man who fell on it down there. And number 40 for Mississippi Valley in a little agony, Alfred Price. You know, we talked about the new coaches in the conference this year. I expect we may see 3 coaching changes possibly after this season in this conference, possibly even 4 we know one already in the SWAC, in the MIGAC, and that is at Florida A&M, and possibly 3 more there. Should be very interesting. I'm not even going to get into schools and names. People can figure it out for themselves.
Well, it's a win now. Society, programs want to win. Programs want to get contributions from the fan base, from the alumni, but the alumni want to support winning teams. So, coaches are under so much pressure now to win. It's not about teaching anymore. It's about winning.
Yeah. And you look, we know what's happening in the FBS with Michigan and Brady Hoke and maybe even Muschamp at Florida.
Well, it's interesting. I know a lot of people that were glad that Florida won the ball game, but they're upset because they think that may prolong Coach Muschamp being down at Florida, because there are a lot of Florida faithful that don't want him there anymore.
Unfortunately, and well, that's what happens when you're big business. Here's Williams rolling left, throws on the left side, has it complete, and the man who's been and we get another flag that comes down. This time it's the tight end Brandon Birdsong on the reception, the junior out of Sandy Creek High in Atlanta.
And this game has been marred with flags.
Personal foul, face mask, number 29, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So Mississippi Valley flag with the face mask penalty. Terrence Hudson was the man guilty. Started all but 2 games, including last week. Hudson, redshirt junior out of Bassville, Mississippi. So quite a few penalties, huh? Grambling penalized 12 times. Valley 6. 1st and 10. And they're keeping the ball on the ground. That is the Tigers of Grambling trying to run out the clock right now. And that's something they don't want to get the ball back to Mississippi Valley, who has a player down right now. And that's Antonio Benson, who's down on the ground, number 42. They're tending to him. Look like a left leg injury. Gonna be all right.
And right now, if you're Grambling State, you want to drive the ball down the field. You want to establish a running game. You want to run some clock off, and you want to put points on the board. But you don't want to put 3 on the board. You want to put 7 on the board. You put 7 on the board. Now you give yourself a 12-point lead, and you force Mississippi Valley State to pass the football, which will allow your pass rushers to pin their ears back.
So on 2nd down, keeping the ball on the ground. No, it's a play action, and it's caught. What a great catch by McGee down the sideline with a man draped all over him, and Avery Boykin.
And that was a great job by McGee adjusting on that football. Great play fact to begin the play by Williams. And you see McGee using that inside hand to get possession of that football. Great job by both players.
They fooled me. I thought they'd handed the ball off, and all of a sudden, here's Williams throwing the ball down the field. And McGee with the catch. This time, Hunter goes far to the left side. Martin, now following Martin, is the quarterback, and he's going to score. Touchdown, Jonathan Williams. Jonathan Williams around the right side, a 10-yard run. And as you said, Forrest, it's important that they score a touchdown on this drive.
Well, we talked about it earlier. You have quarterbacks that are dual threats that can run for first downs. You have quarterbacks that are dual threats that can run for touchdowns. And you watch Williams right now. He follows his lead blocker through the hole, very patient. And when he sees the seam, he cuts to the outside for the easy score. Virtually untouched on that play.
Only about a minute and a half separating the 2 touchdowns. The one by Mississippi Valley, and then the one by Grambling. So they have increased their lead once again to 35-23. 11:22 remaining. Well, let's take a look at today's Bringing the flavor brought to you by McDonald's. Our Bringing the Flavor brought to you by McDonald's, the Mississippi Valley State University Marching Band. Also on hand, the Grambling State University Marching Band. They made the trip from Grambling, Louisiana, down to Itta Bena, Mississippi. And right now, 35-23 ball game from the 3-yard line. Not much running room on the return that time for Avery Boykin from Mississippi Valley. Brings it up about the 20s. They'll make the 16-yard line. So Mississippi Valley down by 12 points. They'll go to work at their own 12-yard line.
And this is where it gets dangerous because they have to pass the ball now to try and get back into this ball game with only 11 minutes left. And now this Grambling State defense that has been very opportunistic throughout this evening can pin their ears back and come after them. We know they like to blitz up that A-gap. They're bringing their defensive ends crashing down. So let's see what Quantavious Peterson can do.
He's back in the lineup. We did see the third-string quarterback, Dontrell Scott, warming up, doing that timeout. Here's Peterson, back to pass, throws, incomplete on the far side. Trying to get it to Joshua Rice, the redshirt freshman from Starkville, Mississippi.
And Aaron Breed, once again, blitzing that A-gap. He's been very successful getting pressure on Peterson right in his face. It's the difference for a quarterback when you get pressure coming down the middle of the offense in your face as opposed to the outside. When it comes to the outside and you're stopped in the middle, he can step up. But when it's in his face, there's nowhere for him to go.
Quarterback throws, has it complete on the near side to Ford. And Trey Ford, the senior out of Memphis, out across the 20. Still going to be short of a first down by about 4 yards. Has to get up to the 27-yard line. Now let's see what they come up with on this one. We're at Rice-Totten Stadium on the campus of Mississippi Valley State University. Of course, we know the exploits of Jerry Rice, not only in the NFL, but what he did here at Valley. And now the quarterback steps up, trying to run for the first down, and he's going to get it. He's going to get it. Out across the 25 to about the 27, 28-yard line goes Quintavious Peterson.
Mississippi Valley.
And he does that so well and did it so well early on in the ball game, but Grambling kind of figured out what they were doing and kind of put clamps on it, didn't they?
Well, they started to stay home on the outside with their defensive pressure and not allow him to break contain and get around the edge.
First down and 10. Nothing doing that time. He spun right into some pressure that time. The quarterback turned and McLean was right there, number 63, to make sure he didn't get a head of steam going.
And once again, when you got pressure coming in your face, there's not much you can do. When he tried to react and go to the side and move around in the pocket, the tackles didn't keep the width, and there's nowhere for Peterson to go.
It is second down, a loss.
Second down
of about 5.
15.
Second and 15 after that play. Stumbling, in trouble, and will not get away this time. Again, the defensive pressure being applied, and there's Philip McLean again, the defensive end, right there to make the stop.
And it all started once again with Aaron Breed coming in that A-gap, bringing pressure in his face. You've got to be stout in the middle. You cannot continue to allow Grambling State to get pressure right up the middle of that offensive line.
As far as we called his name so many times, and he doesn't even have to make the tackle, but he creates such havoc on the defense and, you know, getting through the offensive line and into the backfield that he lets his other players make all the tackles.
Well, his presence has been felt throughout this ball game. Whether he's making a sack, whether he's making a tackle, he's been very disruptive.
Delay of game.
Delay of game. Number 1, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Just what Mississippi Valley needed. I mean, they already have to get all the way up to the 38-yard line. The ball is at the 12. And it's 3rd down. 3rd and 26. One game left. Last home game of the season for Mississippi Valley. They'll play at Southern. Their next game. And here they come. Right up the middle. And nowhere for the quarterback to run. And now a flag is being thrown. Let's see who they're throwing this on. Orsakwe was the first man.
Taunting, number 79, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
And that was Larry Stalling, junior out of Mobile, Alabama, number 79, taunting the quarterback. Yeah.
And he made a great play. And once again, I just want to call this offense A-gap deficient, because this A-gap has been a big problem throughout the second half. Stalling has made himself be known throughout this second half with big plays in the backfield, a couple of tackles for loss. You saw him get pressure right there through the A-gap, but you got to just get up and get off the field.
And now we get a completion, and it goes to Stafford. So it's 2nd down, only a 2-yard gain on that play. Now remember, this drive started at their own 12. They got pushed back. The penalty has moved it, giving them a 1st down, and they're up to the 21-yard line right now. 2nd down and 9.
It seems like we're on the 10th play of this drive.
Yeah, now. And they have only gained 8 yards, right? And there again, a sack by number 59, Aaron Breed.
You know,
and then Peterson sitting there saying, what in the world is going on here?
After this game, you might want to just give Aaron Breed the SWAC Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, my goodness.
Well, he was.
He has lived in the backfield.
He was the co-defensive player of the week last week for what he did against Texas Southern. 5 sacks. He was had 6 solo tackles.
Well, although they haven't had any more SWAC games, I'm willing to put some money on it that he is probably going to get that award again.
No, he's got 3 more. Well, you count this one, you got 2 more after this. You've got their game next week.
No, I'm talking about for the week. SWAC Player of the Week, Defensive Player of the Week. They haven't even played the rest of the SWAC.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe we'll just go ahead and give it to him.
Go ahead
and
just give it to him right now. I mean, this kid has been phenomenal tonight.
Yes, he has. And he's a senior out of Houston. One of those players. You know, it's kind of interesting because we know that last year the Grambling football program went through a lot of turmoil. Doug Williams got fired. Then they brought in Ragsdale as an interim. They fired him. And then Dirk Winston took over for the end of the season. The team refused to play. And here's a disaster for Mississippi Valley. When it goes bad, it goes bad. Galen couldn't get the ball off after he bobbled the snap. Then, you know, the team boycotted the game against Jackson State. Was homecoming for Jackson State. And then, you know, there was just a whole bunch of stuff going on in terms of Grambling State University a year ago. And a lot of these players were players that Doug Williams brought in 2-3 years ago that are seniors. And this young man we talked about, you know, they've come from all over the place. And what, 12 players that coach brought in this year?
He said 12 players as far as recruiting and JUCO transfers. But what I think he's done a great job of is getting these guys and rallying this team together to say, hey, we're going to defeat the odds. Nobody gave us a chance in the preseason. We got the least amount of votes to, you know, compete as far as being a team to win the conference title. And let's go out and prove everybody wrong, but let's do it in a dominant manner. Let's not only win the conference, let's go undefeated winning the conference. So I like what Coach Forbes has done with this ball club. They're believing in what he's building. And like he told us, he's Grambling. He's been in Grambling all his life. This is all he knows. And he said it's an honor to be back at this school coaching and leading these young men.
Well, let's take a look at inside the headset. How about Chris Brazil, the wide receiver or the tight end out of Louisiana, made a couple big catches tonight.
Well, what I like about him, you know, at 6'4", 250 pounds, he found a way to get in between two defenders, make himself a big target for his quarterback, and make the catch with his hands. Too often you see big guys using their body. He makes the catch with his hands and then makes a move and gets about 7 or 8 extra yards. Big time play by Brazil.
Well, the AT&T takes us inside the headset, and here's Mr. Brazil, Chris Brazil, senior, one of those young men we talked about again that Doug Williams brought in. And, you know, Coach understands that a lot of these players were the players that Doug recruited when he was here as a coaching staff. Doug had 2 stints as the coach of Grambling State. You know, he came in right after Eddie Robb retired, stayed for a while, then went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the front office. He was replaced by Melvin Spears, and then Rod Broadway came in, and then Broadway left and went to A&T, and then Doug comes back, and after a couple years they decided they didn't want him anymore.
Well, even with Fobbs being from, you know, that area, Doug Williams is a Grambling native.
Yes.
You know, he's probably the most famous Grambling player of all time when you look at his accomplishments at Grambling and in the NFL. So to replace a legend, you know, it's very difficult, but I think he's done a great job. And one thing that I liked about him when we talked to him, he's very humble.
Yes, he is.
And he feels honored to have this opportunity to lead his university back to what he thinks can be glory years once again.
Yes, indeed. He was a Grambling, played on the football team. He was a running back. He came out of there in 1997 and went on to coach at McNeese State, Southern Miss. Played at Carroll High in Monroe, Louisiana. 3rd down. Grambling still trying to put some points on the board, but they're keeping it on the ground, trying to run the clock out. And so Juwan Martin with the carry that time. And we only see good things for this Grambling football program. You know, they lost their first 3 games of the season, but since that time they've won 6 straight and looking to make it number 7 here tonight against Mississippi Valley. And they've got the field goal kicking team in there, Mark Orozco. He missed a 30-yarder, 38-yarder early in the game in the first quarter. This one will come from the 13. It'll be a 23-yard field goal attempt. This one is up, and this one is good. So a 23-yard field goal by Orozco. And Grambling increases their lead to 38-23, 15-point advantage. Back to Hunt in a moment. Forrest Conley, Charlie Neal here. Itta Bena, Mississippi, 38-23. You're watching college football prime time, presented by McDonald's. We're at Rice-Totten Stadium, Itta Bena, Mississippi. Jerry Rice made this field very famous. I remember doing quite a few of his games, 83, 84, when he was in his prime, catching 23, 24 passes a game. That was amazing.
And the fact that he caught those passes in tough ball games, rivalry games.
And there's the guys at stadiums named after. Willie Totten, the quarterback, on the left. Jerry Rice on the right. Rice broke 1 AA records for total yards and receptions. Scored 5 touchdowns. Season opening win over Kentucky State in an 86-0 win. That was in 1984. I remember doing a game against Southern University that he played in. One year he caught 24 passes. The next year he caught 17 against, it was like they were down many points at halftime, and they came in the second half, and it was like a street game. 63-45 was the final. They wound up winning that ball game, and none of their scoring drives took over a minute.
Well, the fact that he's got 301 total career receptions, that's unbelievable.
From the shotgun, nobody back, empty backfield. Stafford on the catch, and Stafford is going to be wrestled out of bounds after about a 5-yard gain. And a new quarterback in the lineup. We talked about it last time. That's the young man who's Scott, Dontrell Scott, redshirt sophomore from Mound Bayou, Mississippi. We saw him warming up earlier, and with time running out, 3:14 to go, he's running the offense now for Rick Comegis. Back to throw it again. Has a complete. Get the first down, son. He started. Get the first down. He's retreating. You're losing yards. You need to get the first down. That was Grant Sims on the reception. They're going to give it to him.
Yeah, they gave it to him.
Because they really didn't have to. So it is first down and 10 for Mississippi Valley. Inside, here's Stafford. Stafford trying to bounce inside, outside, across midfield, has some running room down the sideline, needs a block, cuts it back inside, and down inside the 30, inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line. So that's the best we've seen him get loose today.
And you see the playmaking ability by Stafford. He gets the ball, he breaks the tackle, and he gets down the field, and he waits, and he's very patient, and he allows his blockers to set up blocks to get positive yards. That's the sign of a good ball carrier and a good receiver, allowing the blocks to be set up.
He needed 120 yards coming into today's game, or for the rest of the season, to have 1,000 for his career, and this pass goes incomplete as Dontrell Scott was under pressure in the backfield.
Guess who? Once again,
Aaron Breed.
Aaron Breed. I like to get a total tally of his pressures, sacks, knockdowns. It's got to be in the 25 to 30 count range. I mean, he has been a terror throughout this ball game. Those offensive linemen are going to dream about Aaron Breed and wake up in cold sweats.
Well, that can happen all too easily. Second down and 10. Here's a pass. Flat. Caught. Touch. Well, let's see. Is there a pass interference penalty? Banks had the reception.
Push off on Banks. He pushed off. Freshman move.
Joshua Banks out of Irvington, Alabama, Bryant High School, looking for his first collegiate touchdown.
Number 80, offense. 15-yard penalty. Replay second down.
We're talking about Rice and Totten. Both are in the Black College Football Hall of Fame. They just announced the new list of people who are going to be going in February 28th in 2015. That ceremony will be held in Atlanta at the College Football Hall of Fame. Of course, Doug Williams and Shaq Harris, who are former Grambling quarterbacks, spearheading this organization, the Black College Football Hall of Fame. Roger Brown, Richard Dent, L.C. Greenwood, Ernie Ladd, Ken Riley, Donnie Shell, and W.C. Gordon, who was a former coach at Jackson State, going in. There's Scott. He is sacked. Boy, they came in with a vengeance that time, not allowing him to get away. And this time it wasn't Breed, but it was Arquez Cooper, number 54, who came in. And these guys, I mean, you look at Roger Brown from Maryland Eastern Shore. At the time, he was 300 pounds. He's probably lost about 50 to 75 pounds. If you saw him now, you wouldn't even think it was the same man. Richard Dent, Tennessee State. L.C. Greenwood, Ernie Ladd. Ken Riley was a quarterback in college and made his mark as a defensive back with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, I'm thinking Ernie Ladd. I'm thinking about WWE.
Well, yeah, that's where he eventually went to professional wrestling after his football career.
Big Cat, Ernie Ladd.
Big Cat, Ernie Ladd, yeah. Third down. That announcement just coming out yesterday, the new class. And there's a floater downfield, incomplete. And Crenshaw was the intended receiver, Charlie Crenshaw.
Yeah, but Tyree Hollins made sure he didn't hold on to that football.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. We're down to 1 minute and 9 seconds remaining. It brings up a fourth down. for Mississippi Valley. We'd like to say congratulations to those 7 new people who are going to be inducted into the Black College Football Hall of Fame. Donnie Shell played with the Steelers. Ken Riley with the Bengals. Ernie Ladd. He's going to be the 10th Grambling alum to be inducted in the Black College Football Hall of Fame. Of course, you know Eddie Robinson's in there. Doug Williams is in there. You know. 4th down. Delay a game.
Delay of game, number 2, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Tough year for Rick Comegys, but growing pains. Delta Devils were 2-9 a year ago, 2-7 in the conference. And that goes incomplete. I don't know what they were trying to set up there with Stafford, but he was nowhere close to being able to get a first down where he was. He would have had to get all the way down inside the 15 to get a first down.
Yeah, it was 4th and 1,000 on that play.
Yeah, a lot of real estate, huh? Sunday on ESPNU, women's soccer takes center stage. First, it kicks off at 11 a.m. the American year on ESPNU. So Grambling now with the ball with a 15-point lead and 1:05 to go. Midfield is where the ball is, and the quarterback just takes it. And I don't know why you let him take that punishment, though. At this juncture in the game, you should be taking the victory.
Yeah, you get
kneel
in the victory
down, right?
formation, snap the ball, take 2 knees, and warm the buses up. I mean,
right.
you don't put your quarterback in harm's way because you've got a angry Mississippi Valley State University Football Club that are getting a couple of free shots on the quarterback.
Yeah, why is he even working from the shotgun? He should be working under center, like you said, in the victory formation. And now he gives it off to Martin off the left side. And Martin inside or across midfield to the 48-yard line, which probably is going to be the last play of this ball game. There's no reason for Grambling to run another play. There's no timeout probably going to be taken by Mississippi Valley, and Grambling comes up with its 7th win of the season and increases its record to 7-0 in the conference. They go to 7-3 overall. They've won 7 straight games after starting the season. 0-3. Your thoughts on today's game and what Grambling going forward? You know, with 2 games left, Alabama State at home and then Southern University in the Bayou.
Well, we talked about Jonathan Williams being a dual threat, and you saw it tonight. He used his feet, but he used his feet in another manner as opposed to running. He used his feet to avoid pressure and get the ball down the field to the tune of 300-plus passing yards. I think he is a key figure in Grambling's hopes to win the SWAC conference title.
Well, it should be a good one. Of course, they play Southern University Bayou Classic right after Thanksgiving, and that will determine who goes to the SWAC championship. So for Forrest Conley, Charlie Neal saying so long from Itta Bena, Mississippi, where our final score is Grambling 38, Mississippi Valley 23. To watch this in